now rocking with the hottest boxing podcast in the land with your host, Coach Malachi Williams.
True.
For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah, what's up, family? This is our boy, Coach Malachi Williams in the building. We back. True Media Podcast. We back up in this BI, man. Happy Friday, man. Tenderoni Fridays. They say today is Good Friday as well. Shout out to Mr. Arnold Brown. Salute to you, brother. Boyce is in the building. Boyce is here. Salute to you, fam. Shout out to Hollywood Leon. Hollywood Leon, what's up, baby boy? Boy, I see you. You dig? True. Hollywood, what's up, fam? JC is in the building. Who else we got here? Man. Let's see who this is right here. Who the fuck is you? He said, yo, don't talk about Kid Austin and his son. They goofies. I can talk about what the fuck I want to talk about. You a goofy for coming over here telling me what to talk about or what not to talk about. Your goofy ass.
To this day.
Yeah, you don't get. How you gonna come to another nigga platform and tell a nigga what he should talk about or what he shouldn't talk about? You ain't gotta listen to it. Shit, you know, it is what it is. I talk about what the fuck I want to talk about over here. You get what I'm saying? So shit. Remember that, okay? When I drop the phone lines, you can call the show too. Anyways. Shout out to Al Money. Al Money, what's going on, fam? JC is in the building. Salute. Shout out to Sebastian. What to say, fam? He say Stevenson couldn't stop a McDonald's worker on his best day. Yeah. You know, I mean, it is what it is, fam. I mean, I just gotta call it the way I see it. I know exactly what happened. I told you guys on a Monday, on Monday's show, was it Monday show or Tuesday show? I think it was Monday's show. What was that show? What was that show we did? Hey, shout out to Mark. Mark, what's going on, fam? John say, who the fuck you think he is, coach? who you think it is? DJ Quick? Kid Capri? Oh, you must be Jimmy Walker. Fool, you ain't nothing. You don't deserve nothing. You don't get nothing. You get what I give you. I got a contract between me and you that says you don't bring your ass over here trying to tell me what the fuck to say on my show. Therefore, shut the fuck. Don't say nothing. Don't speak to me. Don't look at me. Fool, let me tell you something. If I raise up, it's going to be trouble. Ooh, I walk it off. Yeah, what kind of shit that is? I like me walking in another man's house and telling him what not to. Yeah, man, don't watch this show you normally watch. Or don't do this, don't do that. You get what I'm saying? Shit. Anyways. Shout out to Green Eyes P. Salute. Shout out to JC. JC said Coor dissing the ring. He better. You know what? Hey, shout out to Wookie Wook. He said you in the wrong, chat, for that. No, man. Hey, Wookie Wook, I'm in the right, fam. I'm in the right. I'm 1000% correct, fam, on this. You know what I mean? You know, you got to stand on business. You know, when you stand on business, man, it be like that sometimes. Sometimes, sometimes, sometimes you got to pay a price for standing on business now. Sometimes you have to pay a price for standing on business. You get what I'm saying? I just want to throw that out there. Standing on business don't necessarily mean you always gonna get a win. In life, you're gonna have some wins, you're gonna have some losses. Losses is a part of the game. That's just reality of the situation. You know, if you drive trucks, sometimes you may jackknife a truck when you first start out trucking. Sometimes you may, back your truck in the ditch. Sometimes your load may flip over or overturn because you driving recklessly or whatever, or you don't have the cargo properly secured. Sometimes things like that happen. You get what I'm saying? I just want to throw that out there. Sometimes things like that happen. It is what it is, man. But that's the reality of the situation. Shout out to Coach. He said, Coach, they taking you serious. About you loosening up. Oh yeah. I mean, I've gotten nicer. I have gotten, I've become nicer, over the past few weeks. I've noticed that. But the thing is, I flip out at any time. You know what I mean? Sometimes, that's why I don't really like paying attention to the chat like that, because sometimes I flip out. I may flip out sometimes. So I'm trying. And guess what? And I don't smoke.
The stickiest of the icky. You want to smoke with the old boy Rick James?
I don't smoke. You know what I mean? I'm feeling real good and relaxed. But sometimes shit. When a nigga say some dumb shit, it has to be checked. It has to be checked. You know what I mean? We don't tolerate. Now, me being nicer does not equate to me, being a pushover. Or me just tolerating foolishness. I'm just not going to tolerate it. You know what I mean? But that's just me. You know what I mean? But anyways, shout out to everybody in the chat. Gabe Moore's in the building. Shout out to Gabe. Shout out to Wookie Wook. What's going on? P. Rowland said Turkey called that brother into a room to negotiate with two tigers chained to the table. Shit, I apologize too. No. I'm finna tell. No, hey, Roland, I'm finna tell you what happened. Fam. I'm finna tell you exactly what happened. See, I remember when I had Timothy Bradley over here. Timothy Bradley, him and the pro PBC guys. Tim's not a pro PBC guy, but I'm saying the other pro PBC YouTube channels. KQ, KC, and a whole bunch of them. Shout out to KQ. But all of them want to game bang against Turki Alalshikh. Man, who he think he is? And then Crawford over there, they don't like Crawford. So anything Crawford affiliated with, they don't like. You know how that is. Their content tell you that. And their one-sided criticism tell you that. But however, so now Turki Alalshikh, now Eddie Hearn was dealing with the Saudis for a while. Eddie Hearn was the first one to deal with the Saudis. And like in 2018, 19, somewhere around that time, right? Now everybody else catch it on, right? Turki Alalshikh been in the game for 18 months. So it was like, I told y'all, these Shea Butter Laptop Revolutionaries on YouTube, these people in boxing, the business people who need money in order to operate their business, they don't take your feelings into consideration. They don't take your favorite YouTube channel all because you pro PBC. PBC not listening to you. No matter how much you gang bang for PBC or gang bang for Al Haymon, the Invisible Man, who have Louis de Cubas Jr., Tom Brown, and Scampson, he pretty much running his company through them. They don't listen to you. Hey, shout out to Miss Black Panther. What's going on, sis? They don't take what you say into consideration. No matter how much you think that you're a part of the team, they don't know you. I keep and listen, and I will keep reiterating that to these fools. I have to. It's a must that I keep reiterating this because they don't know. You're not on the team, fam. Remember that. It's just like politics, Democrat or Republican. You're not a part of neither party. Both parties are the same, controlled by the same group of people, the oligarchs, right? And the NGOs. You're not a part of it, fam. You're not a part on any team. I don't care how much you yell, how much you scream, how much you march. It doesn't matter. You're not on the team. You're just being used. Okay? Now, this how this goes. Let me break this down. This is too easy. I got a GED, by the way. I got a GED. But it's a strong GED. The truth on why Shakur Stevenson apologized to Turki Alalshkh. Lord have mercy. We've been hearing a lot. Before I get into my opening monologue, we've been hearing a lot about, yeah, you niggas bent the knee. Yeah, I'm a man first, and money don't move me. We've been hearing all of that. Shout out to Tyrone. Tyrone, what's going on, baby boy? Yeah, money don't move me, and all that stuff there. All this tough talk coming from people who have jobs working for white corporations on TV. Let's break this down. The people who are talking, I ain't talking about YouTube. YouTube, I ain't talking about them. But I'm saying the people who are been in boxing before, retired fighters, announcers, commentators, whoever you may be. Some of these fools, they use the term, yeah, man, you doing this, you doing that. You bowing down, yada, 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 yada. Those are the same people who currently have jobs for white corporations that they bow down to. You kiss that ring over there. If you work for the PBC or whatever, you kiss the Al Heyman ring. If it's ESPN or is it Top Rank, you kiss the Bob Arum ring. If it's Matchroom, you kiss the Eddie Hearn ring. If it's Queensberry, you kiss the Frank Warren ring. If it's Golden Boy, you kiss the Oscar Dela Hoya ring. You're bowing down to somebody. Whoever writes the check, that's who you are bowing down to. You don't get the right to be in your, what's the word I want to use? Your imaginary fictitious world. It's like a slave being on a plantation and he's picking at the other slaves because they're not a part of the same plantation that he's a part of. Oh, man, you kiss Master Charlie ring. Yeah, you bow down to Charlie, the Charlie plantation. Oh, man, look at you. You kiss the Master Tom Tom ring. Man, you kissed Master Samson ring. Shoot, but while ignoring the fact that you are on Master's Hog Morgan Chitlin Pro plantation. Did you kiss Master Hog Morgan ring? Just want to throw that out there. If you have a job, whoever butters your biscuit, you have to bow down to their rules. That's how this works. Whether you're a blue-collar worker or a corporate worker, it's all the same on different levels, but it's the same thing. Just want to throw that out there for those out there who think that they are better than those other than themselves. True, true, true. Now that we got that out of the way, let me read my opening monologue. Now that Oscar Dela Hoya has confirmed that Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda fight, now that he's confirmed that fight, I've realized how this fight has been made. On April the 13th, Shakur Stevenson tweeted disrespectfully at Turki Alalshikh, calling him and his team towel heads. If you guys don't know what towel head is, that's a racist slur towards Arabs because of their what they wear, right? On Tuesday's show, I explained why it was a bad idea for Shakur to disrespect the only person on the planet Earth that can pay him the type of money that he wants. That was the Keyshawn Davis show. I broke that down on that show like a 57 Chevy. Broke that down, right? On April the 17th, Oscar Dela Hoya, and I think that was yesterday. April 17th, Oscar Dela Hoya confirmed that William Zepeda will fight Shakur Stevenson next. But the day before that, on April the 16th, Shakur Stevenson tweeted an apology to, guess who we apologize to? My Lord, Turki Alalshkh. True, true, true. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? April the 17th, April the 16th, Shakur Stevenson put out a tweet apologizing to Turki Alalshkh. April the 17th, Oscar Dela Hoya announced that William Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson fight has been finalized. If I was a betting man, I would bet that the more mature, level-headed people on Shakur's team told him how dumb he was for disrespecting his paymaster and told him to apologize. Shakur's team had to reach out to Turki Alalshkh and clean this shit up. Soon after Shakur's public apology, the fight was announced. This fight will be held on a Riyadh season card, I think. I think they're supposed to be fighting in New York in July or something. I bet my friend Timothy Bradley doesn't like that at all. I bet he don't. True, true, true. But as Timothy Bradley and Turki Alalshkh detractors would say, Shakur Stevenson kissed the ring. Every promoter, every fighter, and every manager will kiss Turki Alalshkh's ring. I'm using your terms because I don't look at it that way, but I'm taking your terms, your words, and I'm vomiting it back out to you, throwing it back up to you. Gotta always give them their words, always. Gotta always give them their words. You get what I'm saying? Do you want to know why these managers, promoters, fighters will kiss the Turki Alalshkh's ring? The same reason why retired fighters, managers, and promoters kiss the ring of ESPN, of Top Rank, of PBC, of Matchroom, of Queensberry, of Pro Box, and of Golden Boy Promotions. True, true, true. They want money. So they have to play ball. If you are a fighter and you call yourself a professional fighter, if you call yourself a prize fighter, you fight for money. What is the prize? The money. What is the money? The prize. Do you fighters pay yourself when you get in the ring? No. You go to the white promoter, or in this case, the because none of you guys are dealing directly with the networks, unless you're Jake Paul. But you go to the promoter, and you hope to get a contract to where you can make enough money through that promoter to provide for your family. That's basically a job. That's a job. Your job is to fight for the promoter in exchange for Federal Reserve notes. You're going to take those Federal Reserve notes or euros or whatever currency you're getting paid in, and you're going to trade that for material things, food, clothing, and shelter. It's a job. Just got to break that down. And again, I ain't got but a GED. Not the smartest guy in the world, but I have a master's degree in common sense. They want money, as I said before. So they all have to play ball. PBC fighters kiss the ring of Al Heyman. The PBC is now kissing the ring of Turki Alalshkh, i.e. we showed you guys a picture of Louis D. Cubas Jr., who else is over there? Oscar De La Hoya, the PBC are taking pictures. They smiling and everything, showing all 32 teeth. Okay? The PBC is now kissing Turki Alalshkh's ring. Golden Boy fighters kiss the ring of Oscar Dela Hoya. The same applies to Matchroom, Queensberry, and Top Rank fighters and employees. They all kiss the ring of their bosses. Shakur Stevenson discovered that he was not the draw he thought he was. Shakur Stevenson discovered that no one on the planet Earth would pay him the type of money that he wanted to fight William Zepeda. So, after his team talked some sense into Shakur, he ended up bowing down and he apologized. I'm using the terms that you guys use. Now we have a fight. Stevenson and Zepeda is a done deal. Why do you guys think that Shakur Stevenson apologized to Turki Alalshikh? And he did it on a public platform, the same public platform that he dissed him on. Just asking. I don't know. Just asking. Let's give everybody a round of applause. Hey, I ride with the AK. Spitfire. Shout out to young vegan boxer. What's going on? Oh, that's Raleigh. Raleigh, what's going on, fam? Let me get Raleigh let me go ahead and get Raleigh mod. Make him a mod. Raleigh, what's going on, young brother? What's going on, brother? This is the reality of the situation. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We got almost 400 in here, man, on between X and on YouTube. But before we get into the show, we got to say all praise is due to the Most High, the Most Exalted. And you guys do know when I say this very sarcastically. Don't mean not one word of it, any word of it. Not now. You know what I mean? That now is not a word, but that's something we use in the South. Mr. Al Heyman. Shout out to Al.
Now, I am the #1 contender. I'm tired of James the Poodle, Grim Reaper, whatever you want to call himself, ducking me. All right, I'm tired of man driving around town in 8 Rolls Royces. He ain't fought nobody. I'm still in a bro-hand.
Sorry about that. Wrong soundbite.
Well, you know, I guess I gotta be like everybody else and sing Al Heyman. I can quit my job now, baby. 6 figures, baby. You feel me?
But a name. Do you have a name?
Oh, nah, I ain't got no name, you know.
Name them names, man.
They know who they is.
Name them names, please. The names need to be named.
They know who they is.
The Mexican monster.
Yeah, see that's how this game is played. See all that, listen, all that tough talk, all that what you ain't gonna do, and all that sound good. It sound real good. You know, you just sitting back. Now I know this dumbass nigga. Now I could just imagine this conversation. I could just imagine this conversation with Jay Prince and Shakur Stevenson after Shakur Stevenson went up there and called, did Turki Alalshikh, called him towel heads. And I think he removed the tweet. Because I can't find it anymore. I think he removed the tweet. Ice Cube, West Side Connection made a song in 1996 called Bow Down. Bow down when I come to your town. Bow down when I'm westward bound. Bow down because I ain't a hater like you. Bow down to a nigga that's greater than you. They're bowing down to the very same people that they call towel heads. Whew, Lord have mercy. Anyways, it is what it is, man. Shout out to the tenderonis and PYTs and the honey dips. And since today is Friday, guess what? Let's give a shout out to the Snow Bunnies.
See your eyes shine, she's my snow bunny, please. In the winter lights, so she's my sweet dust of cream. Talk to my nose, this love has got it so raw. Make you move, stepping out, grip out of control.
It's me against the light.
Snow bunny.
Moving on the bar. Everything's so right. Got that smooth, so feel.
No, that's
Next to the law. With my snow bunny love. Been party by the night.
see your eyes shine, she's my snow bunny, please. In the winter lights. sweet love the free. Talk to my nose, this love was God is so raw. Make you lose, stepping out of control.
Turn it up. It's me and you tonight.
Snow bunny.
Moving on the bar. Everything's alright. Got that smooth soul feel.
No, that's
Get to take the light. With my slow burning love. Been party about the night.
see,
Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Please do not block this nigga here. Leave him here. I have a teaching moment. I see it look like we got a whole nigga, but I'm you know what, I'm gonna entertain you. I'm gonna entertain you. Yeah, I'm gonna entertain you. I'm gonna give you what your name is, Joshua Alexander. You probably hide behind the avatar. I'm gonna give your cum drinking, dick sucking ass, wide cheeks spread wide open, letting another nigga hit you from the back while you holding your ankles with no Vaseline. I'm gonna give you what you're looking for. True. Leave that whole nigga right there. Leave him right there. Anyways, let's go over here. Let's go over here. This is gonna be too easy. Let me see which one I want to pull up right here. Let's see. Where that video? Where that one? I can't find that tweet. Where that tweet at? I love disrespecting these niggas. Ain't nothing they can do about it. They hide behind the avatar, so ain't nothing they can do about it. Let's go right here. Let me go ahead and blow this up right here. Yeah, I wrote certified fuckboy. You was a certified fuckboy. Please, Lord have mercy, boy. Lord, boy, shit. Go suck your daddy Johnson or something. Anyways, let's go over here. Oh, my bad. Let me go ahead and share this screen right here. Over here, Mr. Shakur Stevenson said, excited about my next fight. It was a misunderstanding between Turkey and the team. I don't know what team he's talking about. My apologies on my part for overreacting. Now, why did I pull that up? Because this, and I gotta, come my kids are here, so I gotta be nice. But this dick in the booty ass nigga right here, what this fuck nigga said, he was a real fuck boy. This whole ass nigga, Joshua Alexander said, yeah, only emotional niggas hate no Shakur. Niggas is too soft. So says the nigga who's hiding behind the avatar. Emotional. So let's talk about emotions. Emotions make you cry sometimes. Emotions make you laugh sometimes. Y'all remember that song, Emotions? Right here, this was an emotional response. Well, no, not this right here. Where's the one where he called them tower heads? Let me go ahead and Google that. Because he deleted the tweet. Yeah, it's 40 whole ass niggas. I destroy. Listen, let me tell you something. I destroy fuck boys. I'm a fuck boy killer. All you male groupies, I destroy male groupies. Where's that? Turki Alalshikh. Tower heads. All right, let's see. Okay, that's it right there. All right. What did he say? Do they have the tweet right here? Okay, there we go. Let's blow this up. Right here. It's too easy. Anyways, right here, come drinking ass nigga Joshua. Fuck boy who subscribed to my channel. I don't know why, you know what I mean? Please get shot up in the drive-by. Anyways, Shakur Stevenson says right here, this was on April the 5th. He started laughing. Is that what they told you? Referring to Oscar Dela Hoya. Turkey promised me a number And now he going way back on that number that he promised me and sending his Tower Boys to run me the info instead of telling me straight up what he trying to do. I don't, whatever I don't mean, I don't bow down to nobody, Mr. Dela Hoya. Now let's negotiate. Guess what he did? He bowed down. True, true, true. And then guess what he says right here? Let's go over here. Since we're talking about emotions, emotional niggas, right? You said emotional niggas? Let me show you a light-skinned emotional nigga with dimples and curly hair. Excited about my next fight. It was a misunderstanding between Turki and the team. My apologies on my part for overreacting. The overreaction by calling Turki Alalshkh's team Tower Boys was an emotional decision because he was told that he was going to get paid a certain amount of money, and now he's getting paid less than what he was told. So he went on social media, reacted out of emotions, and made an emotional decision. I.e., this is why, and his team probably talked to him. Again, I don't know Shakur. I ain't spoke to nobody on the scene. I don't know nobody on the scene. But I'm pretty sure that's what happened. My nigga, you really ain't no draw like that. You really ain't no draw like that. To defecate and talk about the guy who, gonna pay you the amount of money that you want because you ain't gonna get it from Top Rank, you ain't gonna get it from Matchroom, you're gonna get it from PBC, you ain't gonna get it from Golden Boy, you ain't gonna get it from nobody. It'd be best to reconsider what you said and play ball. I.e., days later, and check this out. William Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson fight has been mandated by the WBC, whatever the fuck that means. And they had 30 days to come to an agreement, or the fight would have went to a purse bid. If you listen to Tuesday's show, I said, man, look, the worst thing that could happen is that fight go to a purse bid. Devin Haney tried that. Hey, shout out to my main man, Rick Timms. Devin Haney tried that. Y'all remember? And I gave an example. I said, Devin Haney tried that same thing with Sandor Martin. He wanted to get a big number to fight Sandor Martin. Eddie Hearn was like, everybody was like, nah. It went to, it got mandated. It went to a purse bid. And when it went to a purse bid, Bob Arum won the purse bid for like $2 million and some change. Devin Haney was going to get 60% of that. Way less than what he's accustomed to making at this point in time in his career. And Sandor Martin was going to get 40% of that. Or something of that sort. Devin Haney dropped the belt. True, true, true. He dropped the belt. So I just had to show that. That's what happened. I don't bow down to nobody. A week or so ago, a week or so later, I apologize. My apologies for overreacting. Let's work. You can't make this shit up. To this day. Anyways. Let's go ahead. Okay, now I got that whole ass nigga out the way. Shout out to Cut Creator. Cut Creator, he said Wakanda has been destroyed by Turkey. No, Wakanda was destroyed by me. Hey, okay. Shout out to you, man. Yeah, I destroyed that. I did that online. I did that. Phone lines will be open. Shout out to my main man, Rick Tim. Shout out to the Boxing Don. Shout out to La Jessica, PG Beats. Shout out to Legacy Remains. Shout out to Chastity. Chastity, what's up, sis? Shout out to the Mac Mob. The Mac Mob, what's up, fam? I ain't seen you in a long time. Shout out to Wole. Shout out to Round One. Round One said he needed one of them Tower Boys when Shakur lost in the Olympics. Well, he said he was crying too much. Well, you got to understand, when you lose in the Olympics, man, it's fighters who have gotten robbed and they cried. They was hurt. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with a man crying. You're a human being. You do have the X and Y chromosome. And people have feelings and they get hurt, and that's what happens. So, hell, I remember Floyd Mayweather cried. He got robbed in the Olympics. I mean, you got to understand, well, you know, he felt like he got robbed, but you got to understand, I'm saying, Shakur Stevenson, you got to understand, fam, that, you know, it probably was his dream to become a gold medalist, and he fought his heart out, and then he ended up losing in something that he felt that he should have won. That wasn't fair. And that and listen, robberies happen in the Olympics all the time. You get what I'm saying? So that don't make him soft. You know what I mean? Because he cried. You know what I mean? That don't make him soft. I mean, you're a human being. I'm pretty sure you cried before. You know, so anyways. But shout out to everybody, man. It is what it is. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I mean, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna drop these phone lines early. Let me drop these phone lines early, you know, because I just want to say this. Anybody have a problem with Coach Malachi? I'm gonna drop these phone lines. You whole niggas don't never. You like I got coochie dick in the booty ass niggas in the chat. You know, I don't want these niggas blocked. Leave them niggas, all them niggas out today. I'm gonna drop the phone lines. You never call. You wanna know why? Because it's probably the same person. It might be She Block, might be Mama Holefield. It might be any one of my whole ass detractors who don't have the nuts to even call the show and stand on that shit. I don't hide behind no avatars. I'm here every day for 4 years. I've been here. I don't hide behind no avatars, fam. And I travel and I go to different cities. You get what I'm saying? I don't see you internet gangsters nowhere. I don't see you male groupies nowhere. I don't see y'all. You know what I mean? You know, I see real niggas like Rick Timms. I see real niggas like Money that own 32 Degrees Barbershop. Like everywhere I go, I meet real people. I don't see none of you avatar gangsters. I don't see y'all nowhere. You get what I'm saying? So I'm finna drop these phone lines though. 530-494-9636. I'm looking for smoke. Any nigga in the chat? Any nigga got a problem with Coach? I'm looking for it. I'm with it today. Let me go ahead and do this. Cause these hoe ass niggas don't never call, bro. They don't never call. They hoe.
You want to talk some shit? Call me. Start some shit, bitch.
Sup, fool? You gonna talk shit about me, homie? Where you from?
Hundreds of niggas is waiting for your motherfucking call, and they all talking shit about you right now.
Call the coach at 530-494-9636. We waiting on your bitch ass. Now, as I said, what they like to say, bowing down, kissing the ring, Shakur Stevenson did that. I'm not saying Shakur is wrong for doing it. I'm not saying he's wrong for doing that. I'm not saying he's wrong at all. He did what he had to do. It is what it is. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Jersey Bob.
Jersey Bob. Jersey Bob, talk to me.
So, I teach at a high school. I got a girl in my class that want to be called a male name, and I got to call a male name. Everybody got to bow down.
Yeah.
I clearly see it's a girl, and I got to call her a male. But what am I going to do, coach? What you want me to do, get fired?
What happened?
So, I'm a Shakur fan. He bowed down after he said, I don't bow down to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, you saying the 100% truth. The man bowed down, and he need to get off social media, man. No idiot bites the hands that feed him, except for him. And I'm a fan of his. I like him, but he's a young dumb boy. He's stupid. The man's stupid. We know he's stupid. He can box, but he's stupid. So anybody on here capping, like, I don't bow down. Yes, you do. Everybody at work bows down. My wife teaches too. Same thing. Man, we got to do stuff we don't want to do.
Right.
Like, what you want to do, coach? I'm going to tell the white man no?
Yeah, I mean, bro, like in society, there's a pecking order. In nature, in life, there's a pecking order. You have to know where you fit in the grand scheme of things in life. If you are a man or a woman, you have children you have to provide for. A fighter is no different from someone who, like you say, a school teacher or a construction worker or whatever. You are trading your skills for time, and while you trading your skills, While you trading your skills, your time, you're trading your skills and your time for money. You get that money, you use that to take care of you and your family. So, you know, the guy, you want a certain amount of money, but, you know, it ain't but one person that can pay you the type of money that you want. You don't disrespect the person that you need. He don't need you. You need him. You don't disrespect the person that you need and to put you on their cars to pay you. You don't do that. So now you went from like no, and I like Shakur, but I gotta call a spade a spade. You went from I don't bow down to nobody. You trying to send your tower boys at me to, hey, look here, man, my bad. I was wrong. I apologize for overreacting. And then guess what?
Yeah.
The next day, the fight announcement: Shakur Stevenson and William Zepeda fight made.
You know what makes it worse? That he didn't say he trying to blame everybody else still. That's making it worse. He should be like, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have disrespect. He talking about my team and all. Come on, man. And that's what I did in the high school, man. Them dudes will not apologize. I be catching them lying, do whatever else. They will not apologize, coach. I'm like, dude, just say you sorry, we good. I don't even care that much. Just say you're sorry and we're all right. They be going all around the world, coach, where they say I'm sorry. I'm like, dang, just say you sorry, we good. I don't even care.
Yeah, it's a pride. It's a pride
That's what we teaching our young boys.
Pride of ego. It's pride of ego. When pride of ego get in the way, but listen, the pride of ego, you ain't gonna never make no money with pride of ego. The same people that you will see that'll sit back and say, well, most of these guys, some of them, you know, that sit back and encourage that type of stuff, they ain't got no jobs, they ain't got no responsibilities, they ain't making no money, they probably living with their girlfriends or their mama. There's no accountability. So they, you know, again, you know, they don't like being held accountable for their actions. You know, and that's the problem. Then that's the society that we're living in. Jersey Bob.
Yeah. So, other last thing. Yes, sir. You have a good day, man. But like you said, stay on Shakur. I'm a fan of this, man. But you got blasting this time, man. It's ridiculous, man. We gotta teach our young boys better. Don't talk crazy when you ain't got no leverage. He ain't got no leverage. Yeah. He got some fans. He couldn't sell out. He couldn't sell no arena in Las Vegas. Let's be honest. So you ain't got no leverage. Keep your mouth shut. All right. Have a good night.
Salute, fam. Yeah, that's it. You know what? He made a valid point. When you don't have leverage, I mean, that's business 101. You know, you don't. What type of leverage do you have? You ain't got no leverage. You really ain't. You get what I'm saying? Because a fighter come a dime a dozen. There's a million fighters. You get that's a bunch of fighters. A fighter come a dime a dozen. You can replace fighters like this, you know. Now you probably can't. You can't replace, you know, an elite fighter. You know, it ain't a bunch of elite fighters rolling around. But the sport of boxing is a business to such to where, you know, my nigga, you know, we ain't, you know, the people who control the purse the purse. Is what run the thing. So, I mean, Shakur did the right thing. I'll call it, hold on. Shakur did the right thing. He bowed down. I'm using his terms. I got to use his terms because he said that I don't bow down to nobody. Well, he ended up bowing down a week and a half later. So, you know, he did the right thing. His team did very smart. Jay Prince, those guys, they did very smart. They went back, look here, man, nigga, you tripping. You finna get on here. You put this tweet out. This is what you gonna say. We gonna make this fight, and that's that. He did the right thing. He bowed down. He did the right thing. Just like anybody else would have. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Mark. First time calling the show. I got a question for you, Coach.
Go ahead.
So, do you feel like we can hold people like Shakur, Devin Haney, Tank to the same standards of regular people if they've been rich because they were very young?
Yeah. I mean, Devin Haney, Tank, Shakur are regular people. The thing is now in society they are millionaires, so they are millionaires on a certain level, but they still people. They breathe the same air we breathe. You know, they're gonna die the same death that we're gonna die. But yeah, they're making money. They got a job the way they're making money and stuff like that. And yeah, we can hold them to that standards because, you know, you still have character, you know, regardless of how much money you have, you're still dealing with someone's character. People still make mistakes. And if you come out and say something on a public platform, people have a right to address what you said. And if you come back and do something contrary to what you initially said on a public platform, people have a right to come out and point that out as well. So yeah, I agree with that.
So do you feel like it's their mentor to show them how to teach accountability, or is it life learning lessons? Like, do you feel like they just haven't learned their lesson yet on taking accountability?
Well, some people learn. People learn one or two ways. People learn 3 ways. People either learn by listening, or they learn from experience. So that's 2 ways. So some people that's like me. When I was young, I was very hard-headed, right? So I had to learn the hard way. I had to learn from experience. I was taught better. I had good counseling, but I was so pig-headed, and I knew everything and stubborn in my ways that I ended up learning the hard way. I ended up going through things in life that I didn't even have to go through. So, and then when you're younger, you have millions of dollars, you're living a certain lifestyle different than the average person. Now, there are people who pay you who got way more money than you, but they have a level of comfortability. So, it's like, they feel like, that money sometimes and that notoriety and that fame kind of give you a sense of invincibility, until the real people who step in, who got the money, let you know, hey, look, my nigga, you just a high paid employee. That's all. You know what I mean?
That was my question, Coach. Appreciate it.
Salute, fam. Yeah, that's it. Phone lines open, man. 530-494-9636. Let me go ahead and put it right here. Call the show. Call the show. 530-494-9636. Anybody want to call the show? It's there. That's it right there. Call the show. Yeah, so again, I'm not ripping Shakur Stevenson. If you are a Shakur Stevenson fan and you feel like I'm ripping him, then you're looking at it wrong. I'm not ripping him. I'm just showing you, look, the nigga bowed down. He did exactly what he said he wasn't going to do. He bowed down. That's what he did. And he should have. Because had he not bowed down, we probably wouldn't have got a fight announcement this early between him and William Zepeda. And then when that fight would have went to purse bid, somebody would have won that purse bid for like 150 or 1.5 million or $2 million. Carla, hold on. Somebody would have won that purse bid for like the same thing they won the Devin Haney purse bid for. And he would have been getting paid way less. A third of what he wants to get paid or accustomed to getting paid. Now what? Turki Alalshkh, the Saudis, they still got all their money. So he had to come back. Hey, look here, dog. Man, I was tripping, dog. Man, I was tripping, dog. I was tripping, man. I don't know what I was thinking about, dog. Man, somebody hacked my account. That's what a lot of them like to say. Man, somebody hacked my social media account. You know that? Carla, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Malachi? It's Moeezy, baby.
Moeezy, talk to me.
You know what? It's so funny that finally something humbled Shakur. Because, he was already making a bunch of stupid decisions in the first place. But I'm glad it was just this one thing that got his attention and humbled him. And I'm glad that his team finally stepped up to the plate and was just like, yo, you tripping. You need to go apologize. You need to go, humble yourself. Whatever you got to do, you need to go do it. So the fact that this situation got his attention, is definitely rewarding to, to all of us, because it's just like, dude, you need to grow up a little bit. You in your mid, you getting up there. You know what I'm saying? I think he is 22, 25 or something like that.
No, I think it's cool, 26 maybe, somewhere up in there. Yeah, about 26. Going on 27.
Yeah, he's not that. He's not he's not just not coming in in his early 20s. You need to get it together. And the fact that I hope that this actually grabs his attention and it grow him up and mature him, moving forward. Because knowing that as you get closer in age, especially closer to your 30s, you're not going to get that many opportunities. Nobody else is not going to be looking for you. People already kind of died down your pretty much your fan base kind of died down anyway because, like, you know, we're not even looking for you like that. I like Shakur. Don't get me wrong. I like him. But it's just like, you don't there's not enough, you know, up there. Like, it's not enough, like, charismatic, like, entertainment there. It's not something that we ain't really looking for you like that. So you really need to, like, I'm glad that he actually humbled himself at this point. And I pray that moving forward with his decisions in his career, that he treads softly and continue to be humble and, you know, and not to be stupid, because the time of being dumb and being young and stuff like that, it cut that out. Like, that's over with. You know, it's time to put your big boy pants on as a grown man and, like, go out there and go get it and handle your business, because you don't have that much of a fan base. People ain't really looking for you. So you need to take the time that you are right now. Mm-hmm. He's still like kind of in his prime, and actually build your support back up. Have people to get more excited about you again, because there ain't really no excitement behind him. So that's my piece on that. So,
all right, listen, man. Shout out to Moise. And Moise, you make a valid point. You know, we'll see how it plays out. And thank you so much for calling. So Broward County, stand up. Yeah, she make a valid point. You know, I mean, it's a maturity thing. You know, it is a maturity thing and stuff like that. I mean, you just got to understand, man. You got to understand your place on the pecking order. I mean, that's just reality of the situation. I mean, for me, it's common sense. You know, for me, it's common sense. And I think what it is sometimes when you get a little money, you know, it kind of blinds you. You know, you're not invincible. You know, this guy right here has a whole country that's putting money up. I spoke to somebody. Carla, hold on. I spoke to someone. This is off the record. I'm not going to say who the person's name is, but I spoke to someone over there on that side over that top right. And you know, the conversation I had was something like, look here, man, you know, the way the Saudis do things, they do things differently. And they deal directly with the fighter. Even though the fighter's under contract with the promoter. So I said, well, hey, what you gonna do about it? You gonna sue him or whatever? He said, no, what are we gonna do? We're gonna sue an entire country? He said that the country of Saudi Arabia is the one that's putting the money up. So, you know, they dictate what it's gonna be, and we get our cut, and that's that. Do you know how long it's gonna take to fight litigation for that? They fall in line. They told me that the Saudis, Turki Alalshikh, reaches out directly to the fighter. Then the promoter gets involved. Yeah, you know, it is what it is, man. How much I want? We're gonna pay y'all this and that, and that's that. That's what he told me. So I said, well, if that's what he's doing, why don't y'all sue him? Well, we're gonna sue an entire country? Like, come on, man. They the one putting all the money in boxing right now. Does that make any sense? See these business people, they don't think off of emotion. They think, they're not making emotional decisions. A fighter will make an emotional decision, but a businessman, they don't really make emotional decisions. They like, you know what? Shit. I mean, what are we gonna do? The well drying up. It is what it is. Carter, what's your name? You called from?
Jamie from New York.
Jamie, talk to me.
Oh, real quick. Two more fighters that I remember right now that were also robbed in the Olympics. One was Evander Holyfield, and the other one was Roy Jones. That I can remember right now. But hey, man, listen, I'm happy for Shakur. Yeah. You know, he did the right thing. You know, I had a feeling that was coming. You know, when I heard that he this morning that he apologized, two people came to mind. First, one was Bud, and the other one Eddie Hearns. I know they're cool with him. You know, if I were friends with him personally, I would tell him myself, man, you messed up, bro. You know what I mean? Go back and apologize. You know, you don't bite the hand that feeds you. So, you know, what happened to Shakur? You know, it was that you know, we all know he didn't like the number that Turki threw at him, I guess, and you know, he got in his feelings and he said what he said, but you know. Like, you know, it's life, man. You know, hopefully he grows, you know, he's becoming, you know, he sounds more mature now, I hope. You know, he's going to learn from this, man. It's a good thing that he did that, you know what I mean? And you have to, bro. You know, you want to get paid, I know, he's Eddie Hearn's fighter, and Eddie Hearn, I believe, has a contract with Turkey. So, again, he was gonna do it, man. He has to, bro. He has to, man. So now that all that is behind him, we got to fight. You know what I mean? That's a decent fight. We all wanted it. It's a done deal, and we're gonna see who's who and what's what in the ring, bro. And that's what I'm happy for. But again, man, I'm glad he did that. We got to fight. And to be honest with you, I wish him well with the rest of his career. I know I shit on him a lot, but this is a good thing, man. This is a good thing. I respect that. Coach, keep doing your thing, and respect from New York.
Salute, fam. Shout out to Jamie. They did the right thing. Like what employee or independent contractor that's depending on payment from the person who hired them for their services, what employee comes around and tell the boss what to do? I mean, you can tell the boss what to do, but you're going to be fired. And you'll be searching for employment somewhere else. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. You get what I'm saying? He did the right thing. Hell, Canelo. Caller, hold on. Canelo make more money than anybody in North America. The face of boxing over here in North America. The biggest star over here in North America. Surely these little smaller fighters who ain't nowhere near in the same tax bracket as, they got more money than me, but they ain't got no one, in the grand scheme of things from a boxer standpoint, have more money than Canelo. Guess what Canelo did? You know what? I know I said what I said on social media, but let me go ahead and straighten this thing on out, man. Let me go over here and fight. Go over here and fight for Turkey, man. I'm not gonna listen to my fans on YouTube, on social media. Yeah, Canelo's Canelo. He got money. He don't need Turki Alalshikh. Guess what Canelo at? See, Canelo don't make emotional decisions. He sells his services to the highest bidder. I have a service. I'm a fighter. I'm a draw. When I fight, people buy my pay-per-views. People show up and watch. I have $100 million coming to your city when I fight there. I'm a walking economy. And Canelo bowed. I had to bend the knee. Isn't that what Timothy Bradley said? Oh, he bent the knee. While ignoring the fact that if you're working for Top Rank, you bent the knee. If you're working for ESPN, you bent the knee. See, bending the knee is not reserved for Turki Alalshikh. It's reserved for anybody who has a job, who is an independent contractor, and who depends on someone else to pay them for their services or their time so that they can take care of their families. Everybody has somebody to answer to. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Corey from Texas.
Corey, talk to me.
Yeah, I'm glad you broke that down to the caller earlier. And like my man said from Jersey, like, it's a girl in my class. She want me to call her a boy, but what am I do? Be like disrespectful and lose my job over? Like, I got to do it. That's what pays my bills. And I'm sure he doesn't agree with that. And then, like you said earlier, like, y'all have to understand how society works. Like, if you corporate and you go to your job, you're going to bend the knee to some extent. This is the dress code. You got to tuck your shirt in. If you don't want to tuck your shirt in, don't work here. Same thing as you said for blue collar people. At some point, you're going to have to make, that type of decision unless you Jeff Bezos or some shit like that. So, and I'm glad you also explained to the caller and said, oh, well, they're rich, millionaires. And what do you say for this? And to me, it's like, how they always come up with this thing, Coach, where they say, oh, well, we're putting our lives on the line, or everybody puts their lives on the line. Construction workers putting his lives on the line. You saw the shooting at Florida State yesterday. It's professors. They putting their lives on the line.
Yeah.
Police, like everybody, pilots, everybody who works a job, shit, even a cab driver or an Uber driver. Somebody can shoot you and rob you. Like, everybody's putting their lives on the line to make some type of money at some point. If they leave their house, unless they're just sitting in their damn house all day. You see what I'm saying? So I'm glad you broke that down. It's like, it's like these people don't understand how society works. And like you said, you was hard-headed, when you was younger.
Yeah.
I was kind of like that. And I was kind of like that. Like you said, you're either going to learn from seeing, listening, or you're going to learn from experience. And I'm going to finish with this, Coach. Like the girl, Moise, whatever, she called and she said, Shakur, 26, 27. You think about this, Coach. When you go to college, you go to high school, you go to college, when you're 22, you finish with college. By the time you're 23, you working and you paying your student loans back for the next 4 or 5, however many years. By the time you're 26, 27, you either buying your first house or paying it off. And for people who don't go to college, because I'm like you, Coach, I went to college, but I left my house early, like 16. You said you left at like 17, 18.
I left at,
you on your own, you got to figure.
I left at 16, came back, then I left at 18 for good.
See what I'm saying? So me and you, when we was like, by the time we was 26, like our whole like experience of life was totally different. We wasn't still like maturing or something. We knew it was either you was gonna pay these bills, you was gonna do this, or your ass was gonna be sitting somewhere homeless or broke. So it's a good lesson, a good show. Like people gotta understand, like it's a pyramid. If you ain't throwing the money out at some point, like you've been saying, the coach quote, you're gonna have to bend the knee. And it ain't a disrespectful thing, it's a reality thing. That's my call, Coach T.
Absolute, fam. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't look at it as bending the knee, but I'm using their terms. When I say their terms, I'm talking about people like my brother Timothy Bradley. I'm using his terms. I'm using the terms that I see these guys do on social media. They call it bending the knee because they want to give it a negative stigma. Because they don't like the guy. They direct it to the guy that they don't like, Turki Alalshikh, so they want to give it a negative stigma. So if you choose to work with anyone else outside of Turki Alalshikh, it's not bending the knee. But if you choose to work with Turki Alalshikh, it's bending the knee. But it's the same thing. Carla, hold on. The only difference is you don't like him personally. Well, the game ain't based on your feelings. This ain't about your feelings. If you got a job working for somebody, and this guy got a job working for Turki Alalshikh, what's the difference? Even if he worked for him for one fight, what's the difference? You can't explain that. Carla, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Mo, what's the word, Slam? Shit. I still haven't figured out this whole bad man's been the knee shit. I don't even know what that means. You ain't never heard me even say other that old bad man shit like that. Shit don't even make sense.
It don't make no sense at all.
When 99.9% of people, not just Americans, 99.9% of motherfuckers bend the knee. Period. Whether y'all like it or not, y'all all bend the knee because ain't nobody out there self-made where they don't have to rely. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's cutting your motherfucking check, man.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
You gotta conform to somebody. You know what I'm saying? We made it cool for motherfuckers think they can look any way they want, feel any way they want, and still be acceptable. If your hair look a certain way and a motherfucker don't want to hire you, they shouldn't have the right to hire you.
Yeah.
If you feel that you this gender and fact is you this and you want us to do, nah, hell no. Then until you get with the real shit, back to real shit, nah, you ain't getting hired. It's too much, man. It's slim. It is too much right now. Motherfuckers got tattoos all on their face, but somebody gotta hire them, and that's discrimination. If I don't hire you, man, get the fuck out of here, no. But back to court joint. Like I said, man, bow down, James Brown, stand your ground. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I was consistent when I said the biggest problem right now is just like you used to have edit classes where it needs to be some type of, now in this generation, in this era, motherfuckers need to take classes on how to communicate on social media. Period. It needs to be some, because right now, everybody have access to this. Everybody think it's cool to show all this transparency. No, nobody, and that's the biggest problem. You ain't have to go through a court, you ain't have to tell us all that shit. You should just shut the fuck up, let the shit go the way it was going. You know what I'm saying? It's too much information, man. And at the end of the day, America know what people society know what they doing. The reason why they can't tell y'all motherfuckers about UFOs and aliens is because they know that Americans in a society are fucking crash out if y'all was told the truth. You dig what I'm telling you? Y'all motherfuckers will crash the fuck out if y'all knew, if y'all knew exactly what was going on. Motherfuckers should know everything, just like now. Athletes, they should. It should be some type of NDA for all our athletes. to not even tell you how much money you make.
Yeah.
It should be, I'm tired of listening to motherfucking pocket watching. I'm tired of motherfuckers tell you how much a motherfucker that's worth that ain't never even, let alone looked at a contract, let alone their motherfuckers renting some goddamn, we've never even seen a motherfucking closing, never even went to a closing date, but they gonna tell you about a motherfucking contract somewhere. You don't own a motherfucking thing. They can't tell you shit about a closing. I mean, we be closing the house, the doors, the windows. But they gonna tell you how much another motherfucker is worth. Man, that's the biggest problem. It needs to be a law. I'm talking about with all athletes, man. Y'all, it's the NBA. We don't want y'all talking about money because one, y'all fucking it up.
Yeah.
We all at the end of the day, I'm just happy Zepeda said Boogeyman Core 5 times.
Yeah.
Now, what Core gonna do after this, I don't know, because nobody wants to fight him, and that's what I think happened. They like, Slim, don't nobody want to fight you. So if you don't take this fight for whatever money we got, Slim, you might as well go to 47 and fight Boots, because everybody's scared at you at 35. Everybody's scared at you at 40. The only motherfucker you so motherfucking good, they want you to fight your brother. That's it. Yeah, y'all two the host motherfuckers. They want to be fighting this point. We already know the Batman. We already know the Batman Baltimore ain't gonna send no offers. Slim, just take the money, man. And that's just what happened, Mo. But I'm out, man. I don't know nothing about that damn shit, Slim. It's all some Bama shit to me, Mo. I'm out.
Okay, this is what it is, right? From what I've learned, well, I guess that information is out there on Twitter and stuff like that. Turki Alalshikh pays fighters more money to fight in Saudi Arabia versus fighting in their own country. So let's say you want to fight in Saudi Arabia. I'll pay you $10 million for this fight. If you want to take that same fight, but you don't want to fight in Saudi Arabia and you want the Turki Alalshikh involved, I'm gonna pay you $5 million for that fight. I'm just throwing numbers out there. You know, that's that. Oh man, he off me less than what he initially said. Yes, because there are two numbers. Carla, hold on. Every fighter who deals with them know this. You're gonna get paid more if you fight over here. If you can fight over there, it's gonna be less. Because you're not, you know what I mean? You're not the draw like that. So, it's a lot more work. But if you come over here, it's gonna be more. Man, you paying me less than what you said. Yeah, my price was for you would get paid this amount if you fight in Saudi Arabia. But since you want this fight in America, no problem. You're going to get paid less than that. Now I want the same price that you were going to pay me in Saudi Arabia over here. No, you don't dictate that. Turki Alalshikh works for what? The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. No, it don't work that way. This is what it is. But you got emotional. You went on Twitter, jumped out there. Now everybody looking at you crazy. Because you said you don't bow down to nobody, this and that, towel boys and all that stuff there. And so now it looks like you ended up bowing down. You apologize to the towel boy. And now all is good. That's what it looks like. Why? Because you made a public spectacle of it. You put that out there on the public. That should have been, like Ron Boy said, that should have been like left behind closed doors. Certain things don't need to be said on social media. You get what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to business. You never discuss business on social media, but a lot of these people do. So, Carla, what's your name? You call it from?
What's up, Coach? It's Derek from Florida.
Derek, talk to me.
Hey, Coach, I know this ain't got nothing to do with the topic, but I was watching the Edwin versus Keyshawn press conference. Like, that shit was ass, bro. Edwin wasn't even in the press conference. The whole shit was Keyshawn, even though I know Top Rank, promoting him and stuff. But, Coach, you can't have a press conference while the opponent. But that shit was ass, kid. Bro,
what you
I want
mean?
to see some shit talking. I want to see some smoke.
What you mean?
I want to see some shit talking, bro. Huh?
What you mean? You can't have it without an opponent. What you talking about?
No, because I want to see some smoke. Like, how I be talking crazy. Like, I want to see some Moxley in the press conference. Bills is all Keyshawn. I'm thinking Edwards in the press conference as well. I was like, man, I want to see somebody get chin check or something. But yeah, cool. But back on the topic though, which is Corlo, yeah, he went back. That boy went back, didn't his knee for real though. But I think the court's still a bitch, so like he a bitch ass nigga. So, like, I don't like that nigga either, bro. Like, he be acting all bougie, like you think he can get what he wanted and shit. Like, nigga, it don't go that way, bro. Feel me? So, but yeah, that we speaking on though, that's fact. Grab my call.
All right, salute, fam. Yeah, yeah, I mean, again, Shakur Stevenson did the right thing. I mean, this is why you have business people around. This is why, you know, you have those type of people who handle that. Look here, man, don't be saying that. Don't be talking about, you know, because we are in the era of managers and promoters in boxing. You'll have dudes, you'll have a YouTube channel arguing up and down. Yeah, man, she my fighter, the fighter who don't know you, who don't even know you exist, but they cling on to these fighters for whatever the reason may be. Yeah, man, my fighter deserved it. He supposed to get 2.5. Sir, you're working at 7-Eleven right now, sir. Sir, you're working at 7-Eleven. Yeah, he should take that. He did the right thing for turning down them $3 million. He could get more on the back end. Sir. And I say this all the time, and I've been saying this for years. Millionaires, fighters, but we're just going to say fighters, because all of these fighters are privileged. Well, not all of them. I'm saying the fighters who have a name, notoriety, the ones that's on the top. Yeah, and there's a pecking order to it. You have Canelos, Anthony Joshua's, Alexander Usyk's, Tyson Fury's, and then you have Anua's, and then you have people under them. You have the top level fighters, you have the mid-tier fighters, and then you have the bottom fighters. There's levels to it. I remember when I interviewed Stitch Duran on this show. Stitch Duran broke this down so eloquently. He said 1% of the fighters generate 99% of the money in boxing. I didn't even know that. 1%, and shout out to Foodie. 1% of the fighters generate 99% of the money in boxing. This is why I said, you know, you got people like a Canelo or a Tank or whatever. You know, now Tank ain't on the level of Canelo. It ain't no comparison. I think everybody knows that. However, from a black fighter standpoint, Tank moved the needle from a black fighter standpoint. There's no black fighter or Puerto Rican fighter or biracial fighter who is doing what Tank is doing from a live gate standpoint and being an attraction. And that's not one. The level above him is Saul Canelo Alvarez. I tell you, some of these guys are walking economies. Canelo is a walking economy. What do I mean by that? When my fight is announced, people get excited about it. Whether you agree with that or not, the numbers don't lie. When I come to Vegas and do a fight, I bring $100 million or more to Vegas that weekend. Hotels are sold out. Flights are being booked. Airlines are packed. Restaurants are packed. Pimps are out in full service. Escorts are out in full service. Gambling casinos are gonna make a lot of money that weekend. Why? Because that one guy is such a huge brand that he's a walking economy. When he come to your city to fight and perform, he brings people with them, and people have what? Money. Some of these fighters think that they are Canelo. You're not a walking economy, sir. When you come to a city, people ain't looking at you like that. You ain't selling out. And ain't nobody getting excited, and you ain't drawing $100 million plus so you're not a walking economy. As I said before, Tank Davis is the only fighter that I know, the only black fighter that I know. He can fight hog head cheese. I say black fighter in America. In America. Let me clarify that. In America. Black American fighter. He can fight hog head cheese. Baltimore gonna be at that fight. DC gonna be at that fight. Atlanta gonna be at that fight. Florida gonna be at that fight. Texas gonna be at that fight. Tank, now, you take any other black fighter and you put him in there with whole head cheese, guess what? He ain't gonna sell nothing. True. He ain't gonna sell nothing. Ain't nobody gonna be excited. Ain't nobody gonna be flying in from all over the country to see you. Ain't no $100 million coming with you. None of that. Hotels ain't gonna be sold out. Restaurants ain't gonna be, it's gonna be an uptick. It's gonna be an uptick, but you get what I'm saying. There's levels to it. There's levels. You get what I'm saying? It is what it is. Shout out to T-Bonafide. Shout out to T-Bonafide. And what you say, Mo Brain said, I think Keyshawn is next up to bet after Tank. You know what? Keyshawn is doing really, really good in Virginia. He's doing really, really good in Virginia. Keyshawn, I think Keyshawn, he could potentially be that guy. I'm gonna tell you why. Keyshawn has a fan-friendly style. He has the attitude and mentality when he's in the ring. He fights nasty. He's very focused. He has some good training, and you get what I'm saying. So potentially, again, I don't know, but I don't know if he's gonna be bigger. I don't know if he's gonna be just as big as Tank. It's gonna be kind of hard because Tank, that was lightning in the bottle. But if Keyshawn can, if he can continue to go down this trajectory, you might have a point. You might have a point. Rock 813 say Tank even have a Mexican fan base. Facts. Yeah, you're right about that. Hey, Rock 813, you're right about that. Tank have a Mexican fan base too. The Mexicans like Tank. True. The Mexicans are rocking with Tank heavy. Tank have fans of different nationalities, stuff like that. He do. They like Tank. Tank is a black fighter's dream. Man, I wish I could get like Tank. Tank had a little help with Floyd Mayweather, gave him the cosign. But he took the ball and he ran with it. The man fought Lamont Roach, a pro box fighter from DC. They sold out. What they sold out? The Barclays Center? They said they broke an attendance record at the Barclays Center, set another record or something with Lamont Roach. And this ain't no shade to Lamont Roach. I like Lamont Roach. But he did it with Lamont Roach. Not only that, he set an attendance record with Rolly Romero. Crayon eating, Fugatti driving, coloring book using, short yellow bus riding with the dark tinted windows, Special Olympics, Rolly Romero. Name one black fighter that can fight Rolly Romero and break a live gate record at the Barclays Center. I'll wait. I'll wait. Can't name them. So, I mean, hey, let's take a step out. Who you fighting today, dog? Man, I got this ink pen right here on fighting. You fighting the ink pen, Tank? Yeah, dog, this ink pen, this the same ink pen that Coach Malachi been using on the show. Oh, I don't like that whole right there, Coach Malachi. You don't like him? No, I don't like that nigga. Dog, I'm finna fight his ink pen. Hey, man, y'all, I'm trying to tell you, dog, boy, hey, Coach, you heard about that fight? What fight? Man, Tank got a fight coming up. Who you fighting? They say he fighting your ink pen. And everybody excited. Man, I don't book my hotel already, dog. I took my girl to the mall. I said, look, baby, you finna get this outfit. I want you to get your wig done. I bought you a new wig. Put that wig cap down on your head and put that wig on top of that there. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. Just go do that there, baby. And we gonna make it crack. We finna go to the Tank fight. Baby, who he fighting? He fighting the ink pen. An ink pen, yeah, that ink pen kind of sharp now. You get what I'm saying? And they're going to be happy. He the only black fighter I know can get away with that. Shout out to Jason. Hey, okay. Dropping that half for, damn, dub on your boy. Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy. He said, why is all this stuff about Mayweather going broke popping up on my feed? They are using AI to narrate and putting together a bunch of different clips from years to prove it. Shout out to Moise is in the building. Jamie is here. Tila is here. Hollywood Leon. I like that name. Hey, Hollywood Leon, let me tell you why I like your name. I had a homeboy that I met from Long Beach named Leon. This in the 80s. This like 88, 1988, 89, right? 88, 89, somewhere around there. I know it was 88, but I've been knowing Leon for some years, but he gone now. Leon was a light-skinned dude. He used to dress like he was from California, too. He used to have the cut-off shorts, Bobos, like the Bobo shoes. He had the Bobos on. He was a light-skinned dude with cat eyes, with like green eyes. And Leon, hey, so when I see your name, I think about him because now this was my partner. He was older than me. He was like 6 years older than me, right? But he was hilarious. He was the type of dude that we go in the mall. This back in the day where when you want to talk to a woman or meet a girl or whatever the case may be, y'all had to go meet up at the mall. Everybody go to the mall. Every weekend, people went to the mall, and that was the hangout spot for all of the young folks, man. It's Saturday, man. We go to the mall, man. You know, nigga get an outfit just to go to the mall, and then you may see a female, you know, you like to go to your school or whatever. You know, you try to holler, you get a phone number, stuff like that. So I like to laugh a lot. I've been like this a long time, ever since I was a kid. I like to laugh a lot. Leon used to keep me laughing. Leon used to try to holler at females, right? And he felt like because he was light-skinned with green eyes, that the woman should holler at him. Now, this in the 80s when light-skinned niggas was popping. And if you was a light-skinned nigga with green eyes, with cat eyes, oh, Lord have mercy. True. Hey, you ain't need no money. If you was a light-skinned dude with cat eyes, bro, that's all you needed. Listen, your girl, she gonna be buying you stuff. Hey, I know some of y'all think I'm exaggerating, but bro, I'm telling you, bro. Yeah, she gonna be buying you stuff. Yeah, man, you know, yeah, girl, I got me a good one. Who you got? Girl, I got me a Chico the ball. You did? Girl, I'm finna go. What you doing? I'm finna go to the mall and buy him an outfit right now. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? This is Breland Clay, man. I'm calling from South Carolina, man.
Breland, you say Breland?
Yeah, from South Carolina.
South Carolina, talk to me.
Hey, I'm a big diehard Shakur Stevenson fan. You know, that's my favorite fighter. I will say I had just a question for you. Now I will say I'm a even Shakur Stevenson fan. I do feel like my boy does need to get challenged by some pressure, by some power. That's the only question we still got to answer for all of these people that still questioning my boy. But I got a question for you. If he go out here, if he sparks Zepeda, maybe drop him once or just out dominate him, what do you feel like the public perception would be of Shakur at that point?
I think the public perception, people don't like Shakur Stevenson. He's in the same boat as Devin Haney. So it doesn't matter what Shakur does, to be honest with you. He can knock Zepeda out. And they will find a reason, you know, well, some of them will be like, oh, dang, he knocked them out. They'll be surprised and they'll give him credit. But I think there's an overall consensus at this point. They really don't like him. So there's nothing that he really can do. Me personally, all he got to do is just win. I can't hate on the guy for not having punching power. I mean, one of my favorite fighters is Pernell Whitaker. He didn't have any punching power, but he had a fan-friendly style.
Right.
So, you know,
one of my favorites.
Yeah, you know, so all Shakur got to do is just go out there and win, man. That's all he can do. You know what I mean? Just show people that, because there's some people that think he's going to lose because Shakur, you know, because William Zepeda is a pressure fighter and he throws a lot of punches. So to be honest with you, this is the perfect style matchup for Shakur Stevenson to really show people what he can do. This fight right here.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Like the reason why I've been so amped for this fight. I didn't want Tank to steal the fight. I didn't want nobody else to steal it. But I feel like how we just seen Boots have his, I guess, coming out party with Stanionis to kind of finally go against a name and show his skill. Even though I'm a B. Norman fan, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I think B. Norman will beat Boots, but that's for another day, another show. But at the end of the day, I just feel like this is my boy coming out party where he'll be able to finally show, you know, that he can beat the press of everything that you stopping. Like, I just feel like this is a good coming out party for my boy. And I just want to get your thoughts on that, though.
All right, salute, fam. Thank you for calling, brother. Now, I will say this. Shout out to Breland, South Carolina. I will say this. Shakur Stevenson does have to look impressive in this fight. I'm going to tell you why. Because if he doesn't, if he comes out and stinks up the joint, if he comes out, tap, 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 grab, or he do a performance the way he did against Edward De Los Santos, even if he wins, it's going to validate everything his critics say about him. So he's going to have to look. He's going to have to look. He's going to have to look impressive. He's going to have to look like Floyd Mayweather had them impressive moments against opponents. Roy Jones had them impressive moments against opponents. Terrence Crawford had impressive moments. Canelo Alvarez had impressive moments. Tank Davis, whether you agree with his competition or not, he's had impressive moments. Gerard Boots Ennis just had an impressive moment against a couple of fighters. You know, Vila, I think he did Vila, and then against Amanti St. Elmo's made him quit. So Shakur is going to have a performance that's impressive to where it stands out. You know, that he's going to need that. Now, of course, his team may be like, as long as he got the victory. Okay, the reason why he wants to have a standout performance, because it's going to add to your star power. Man, if he start William Zepeda, boy, y'all saw what he did to William Zepeda? Man, but if it's the same old, you get what I'm saying? So he's gonna have to get down and dirty in this fight. He's gonna have to get down and dirty. That's all I'm saying. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Kevin, usually I call you from West Atlanta, but oddly enough, I'm actually in downtown Tampa, believe it or not.
Oh,
anyway,
yeah?
I'll get, huh?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, Coach, everything everybody's been saying about Shakur is true, and the latest things you were just saying about Shakur is absolutely true. Actually, I'm a big fan, too, just like your last call. I'm a big fan of Shakur. I like that style, Pernell Whitaker. I've always liked that kind of style of fighting. But it, like you said, learning experience for the young man, and hopefully he won't let his mouth move before his brain moves, which a lot of us, I'll include me in that, too, a lot of us just don't do. Changing topic just briefly. Coach, did you hear that Jake the Snake?
Oh,
talking about fighting what? Julio Cesar?
Hey, no, hey, look here, man. Hey, hold on. I'm glad you brought that up. Jake the Snake. Now, you do know I'm a big Jake Paul fan. Now, I used to hate on him. I was a Jake Paul. I was a Jake Paul hater. I'm a self-admitted Jake Paul. I was a former Jake Paul hater. Now I'm a fan. I used to hate on Edgar Berlanga. Now I'm a fan. Jake the Snake Paul is revolutionizing the sport of boxing. You know, he fighting Julio Cesar Chavez, Jr. He fighting the legend, the son of a legend. You get what I'm saying? So, hey,
is he fighting Junior? Oh, he's fighting Junior.
He's fighting Junior. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He's fighting the son.
Oh God. Yeah. Now, if the dude don't come in the ring coked up, he's still gonna lose. But if he don't come in the ring coked up, man.
Hey man, that ain't our problem, man. That ain't our problem, man. He come in coked up, that ain't our problem, brother.
Hey, Coach, right before I go, let me just say, I'm a little surprised that you didn't cancel the show today and come to downtown Tampa. It's a lot of beautiful women here. The reason why I'm here. It's a convention out here. There's a lot of beautiful sisters out here, brothers.
Which convention you at? I'm not too far from downtown. What convention you at?
the AKAs are having a convention down here.
The AKAs come down here all the time. They were just down here not too long ago. When was it? AKAs?
Were they really?
No. What's the ones in the purple and gold? Is that what are they?
Purple and gold is
that like the Q Dogs or something? I think it was the dog.
The Q Dogs, the men, the Qs are purple and gold. Yes, the Qs are purple and gold. Yes.
So where you at? That's not the men. That's the women.
That's the women, right? It's their games. I just rather white down.
You got it. You got it.
Now look here, brother. Hey, that's what I'm saying. Look here, brother. Now look, I value my life. I don't mess around because my wife went to the Lorena Bobbitt School of Marriage. Now, y'all young people, as you like to play that soundbite, y'all believe in Google? Go Google that shit. Google Lorena Bobbitt. Young people that never heard that name before, Google Lorena Bobbitt, and you'll see why I don't mess around. I ain't trying to talk to them these women down.
Yeah.
All right? Hey, with that, Coach, with that, I'm out, but I hate it.
Damn, I got it.
I'm not out yet. Just quite yet. Let me say one thing about Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Junior could have been, that guy is one of the most disappointing fighters I've ever experienced in my being a fan of boxing. That guy could have been somebody. I'm not going to say he was going to be a great, like his father, but the guy was actually good. And the dude just decided to snort a whole bunch of effing cocaine and all kind of other stuff, whatever the hell he was doing, and then quit in fights, and he just let everybody down, man. That guy could have been somebody. Anyway, what did you have the same opinion, or did you like him, or did you not like him in his career?
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.?
Junior,
Yeah, Junior. I ain't gonna lie. I've never been crazy about him, to be honest with you. I'm not gonna say a lie to you. It was nothing special about him.
No problem.
He's not his father. He's nothing like his father, so.
No, absolutely. Nothing like his father. Wasn't cut from the same cloth at all. Coach, with that, I'm out. Thanks, man.
All right, salute, fam.
Baby.
Hold on. Let me call my dog. Let me call Big Bism. Let me see what's up. Let me call Bism right quick, man. God dang, Bism, well, he said, let me see. Call Ben. My dog. Let me see what's happening. What? Hit him up right quick. Yeah, I ain't know the AKAs was there. AKAs.
What's happening?
Hey man, Bism, check this out, fam. You had any AKAs come by your shop?
No.
Yeah, I heard they got a convention down here.
Yeah, I saw that, but I plugged in with the Q Dogs, but I had a customer.
Yeah.
He was a Q Dog.
Yeah.
That's how I plugged in with them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you ain't going downtown tonight?
No, I'm going out.
All right. All right. I'm gonna holler at you, man. I'm on the show. All right. Hey, man. Hey. Hey, the Martin say, Coach said, you speaking my language. Nah, it is what it is, man. I didn't know they was here. You know what I mean? I remember the Q Dogs. Listen, let me tell you something. When the Q Dogs came on the temple, they brought a lot of money with them. They brought a lot of money with them. Like when them sororities and fraternities come down, they bring a lot of money with them, bro. Like the Q Dogs was everywhere. They was at all the black restaurants, all the black barbershops, all the black brunch bars. My homeboy got two of them. They both of his brunch bars, brunch cafes was packed. Yep, I'm trying to tell you, bro. They listen. They bring, like, they are an entire economy. They ain't breaking no violence or nothing like that. It ain't none of that. It's just that, you get what I'm saying? Like, for real, bro. Like, for real. Like, facts. Anyways, shout out to Mo Brains. Hey, okay. Dropping that quarter over. Bam, dub on your boy. Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy. He said Shakur can knock Zepeda's head off and dribble it like a basketball. Casual boxing public will only remember him for being a track star against Santos. And you know what? And you know what? At some point in time, we gotta get past that. Yeah, he ran against Santos, even though I know Bud and them said he didn't and all that stuff there. That's cap. He ran. But at some point in time, okay, we got to get past that. Yeah, he had a bad performance against Santos. He ran. He was a runner. He was a track star that fight. All that stuff there. Fine. You get what I'm saying? But now he's going to be 2 fights removed from that. I'm anxious to see what his performance is going to be like. See, you got to look at a fighter on a performance by performance basis. I can't punish the guy for not having punching power. Everyone is not blessed with power. Shakur Stevenson, and they're not. He's not. I mean, and maybe some would say that Maybe he got a little bit more punching power than Devin Haney. I don't know. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, I don't want to be like just hold Shakur's entire career based on that one performance. Because he don't have some good performances, you know. But he don't have some performances where he jumped back like 25 feet too. Now we got to do an entire show on that. I ain't forgot about that. I'm gonna look at all his fights and I'm gonna point the ones out that I'm talking about. He jumped back. You know, he gonna do that because he don't want to get hit at all. Nigga, I don't want to get scratched. You know, you know what I mean? I ain't ready. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, it is what it is. But I don't want to hold them. I don't want to hold them, you know, a prisoner to that. But a lot of fans, I do acknowledge a lot of fans still will.
Down from the bar, there's a platform stage. People pimping, sharp as razor blades.
You know, a lot of fans will still hold him to that. You get what I'm saying? So, I mean, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is the perfect matchup. William Zepeda, front foot, come forward, volume puncher fighter. William Zepeda fight the same way. You know what you're gonna get. It's plan A, and that's it. He ain't got no plan B. He ain't got no plan C. William Zepeda, whole thing, entire fight, boxing skills is predicated upon pressing you out, throwing 1,000 punches. He's going to get countered. And I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. Now that I think about it, Shakur is going to have to work William Zepeda's body. If Shakur makes a commitment to becoming a body puncher, this fight, he can potentially get, I don't want to say stoppage, but he could potentially get the performance that he's looking for. You get what I'm saying? Like literally. You get what I'm saying? So that's it. He literally can get the performance that he's looking for. Literally. So he's gonna have to put on a magnificent performance. Hey, what you say, Boss Des? He say judges hate Shakur's style because he makes them do their jobs. Well, you know what? I remember Timothy Bradley was telling me that you have to know what judges are looking for, right? Some judges, they like pressure fighters. Now, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some judges, I'm pretty sure there's going to be some judges, they love doggone William Zepeda's style. William Zepeda going to come forward, try to press the fight, make it happen. You get what I'm saying? And I'm anxious to see, I'm anxious to see what Shakur Stevenson going to do in this fight. I'm anxious to see what he's going to do in this fight. Anxious. Very anxious. You get what I'm saying? So, you know, so it is what it is. This is the perfect style for him. This is the perfect style for him, though. This is the perfect style. This is the fight. What you say, the Boston Pop Podcast, man? You say, don't forget about the bad hands, coach. I mean, yeah, yeah. You know what? No one really cares about that. You're right about that, Boston Podcast menu, but no one really cares about that. You know, he got bad hands. They're gonna say Floyd Mayweather had bad hands. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Styles make fights. This is the perfect style for him. This is the perfect style for him. You know, I remember Boot saying that he loved pressure fighters. He loved those come forward pressure fighters. And it showed. Doggone, what's my main man name? I mentioned Stanley Owners. That come forward pressure fighter, he got eaten alive by Boots. Probing jabs to the body, hooks to the body, left hook, right hook, pivots, angles, was giving them problems. Now, Shakur Stevenson can potentially fight William Zepeda the exact same way. He can fight him the same way Boots fought Stanley Owners. He's going to come forward, pivot, you know, work the body. He's going to have to take some risk. You know, he's going to have to take some risk this fight. He's going to have to take some risk this fight. JC, what did say family said? Will Shakur KO William Zepeda? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Hey, what you say, Boss Des? Boss Des says that hold on. What did you say, fam? Where you at, fam? Boss Des says that he say perfect style for Zepeda too, coach. A low output guy that can't match his output. You know what? It might be. I don't really know, because he's going to have to find Shakur. If it's one of those fights to where he's going to have to find Shakur, then it might not be a perfect style for him. We know what Zepeda is bringing to the table. We know what he's bringing to the table, Boss Desk, but it depends. If he doesn't have to find Shakur, and Shakur sits right there, set those traps, hooks, uppercuts, hooks, you know what I mean, pivots, come back with the hook, straight right to the body. If he's able to work it like that, work that body, it depends on what type of fight that Shakur is gonna come with. Are we going to see the Shakur that fought Jamel Herring? Or are we going to see the Shakur that fought Evan De Los Santos? So I agree with you to an extent, but we got to see exactly. Shakur has very, very fast hands, so I see William Zepeda getting tattooed all night long. Personally, I see him get tattooed, but he's going to have to make it a fight. He's going to make it ugly, because I don't think Shakur is bigger than William Zepeda when they rehydrate. He's going to have to make it ugly. He's going to have to smother him, swarm him. He's going to have to swarm him, be on him. That's what he's going to have to do. You know what I mean? So shout out to Nate the Great. Nate, what's going on, sis? Talk to me. Salute, Nate. But I think everyone will agree he's going to have a damn good performance. He's going to have a spectacular performance. T Bonafide, what you say, fam? T Bonafide say Shakur by majority decision. The Natural says, I think Shakur's going to pick him apart. He better not hurt his hands again, though, or it's going to be a long night. Yeah. And this is the thing, right? He's going to have to sit on them shots. He's going to have to sit on his shots. Sitting on your shots entails, as long as he have respectable power, sitting on your shots, he might hurt his hand sitting on them shots. Because when you sit on them shots, you got to turn them punches. You got to sit, turn that hook, sit, turn that jab, turn that hook, turn that uppercut. And you got to sit and you got to shoot them. You got to shoot them punches from your heels on up, from your legs. When you sit on those shots, now by sitting on the shot, by sitting on that shot to get your punches off, you risk a chance of getting hit yourself. But he's going to have to do that. He's going to have to sit on them shots. Going to have to. You get what I'm saying? Shakur has the footwork and the hand speed. He has the footwork and the hand speed. You get what I'm saying? So, shout out to Mortal Box. He says, what you say, fam? You say Zepeda can win stylistically. He's a nightmare for Shakur, who is a pure boxer. But you know what, though? Mortal Box. I hear what you're saying on that. I'm anxious to see what type of judges they have. You know what? You know what to make this a great fight? Mortal Box. I'm going to tell you right now. You know what to make this a great fight between Shakur and Zepeda? Have judges. I don't know what type of judges they're going to have, right? But let's say you have judges who like pressure fighters. They like fighters who going to try to make it a fight. But the best way to make this fight a great fight, this fight got to be in a small ring. True. If you make this fight in a small ring, if this fight, William Zepeda and Shakur Stevenson, if Turki Alalshikh say, you know what, in order to make this fight what it should be, which you know what, to be honest with you, that's what the sport should change. Look, you know what, we need to make everything a small ring. If they make this ring a small ring, William Zepeda, Shakur Stevenson, that's gonna make them. That's gonna make the fight right there. That's gonna make the fight right there, right there. That's gonna make the fight right there. I can damn near promise you that. Shout out to Polo. Polo, salute, fam. Hey, okay. Dropping that quarter over. Damn, dub on your boy. Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy. What did say Polo? He said we seen Shakur beat this style before. Zepeda style is a special. Come forward, Shakur tags him on the way in all night long. Yeah. I get what you're saying. But what I want to do with William Zepeda, because William Zepeda got, I mean, there's a, like the brother said in the chat, he's saying that this style, Shakur style, is tailor-made for William Zepeda. And I really don't know about that. The reason why I don't know about that is because pressure fighters hate fighting fighters with good footwork, because they're not going to be there to be hit.
Down from the bar, there's a platform stage. People pimping, sharp as razor blades.
See, pressure fighters, they hate fighting fighters like that with good. You got good footwork, they hate it. They don't. You get what I'm saying? Because Shakur Stevenson has a potential, with the way he jumped back, his pivots, his angles, his timing is crazy. He has very, very, his reflexes. He's very, he has cat-like reflexes. This could potentially make William Zepeda look bad as well. So the footwork, because of the pivots and the angles and stuff like that, it's gonna be kind of hard. He's just gonna have to. What William Zepeda's gonna have to do. He's gonna just have to try. If Shakur can't hurt him, if he don't have respectable power, he gotta go at him. He gotta go at him and swarm him. That's what he gotta do. He gotta pull off like a Marcos Maidana. You get what I'm saying? Shout out to Foodie. She said, "You're right. The way Shakur can't play ring around the roses all night." Oh, you say it that way? Yeah. He would have to fight William close up. Yeah, you know what? Hey, Foodie, that fight needs to be in a small ring. A small ring right there. That's where that fight need to be at. Hey, Mason, that fight need to be in a small ring, fam. Yep. A small ring. We have to look at, dog. We're not gonna have these big rings, these 20-some foot rings. Nah, we ain't doing that, dog. We're gonna be 18-foot ring, dog. Shit gonna be 18 feet. It is what it is. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? If you do that, I think it's gonna be Gucci. If you do that, I think it's gonna be Gucci. The fight has to be a small ring. Like that way you can satisfy the fans. You get a fighter like a William Zepeda, who throws a lot of punches, but he is defensively flawed. He throws a lot of punches, and he's going to walk into a lot of shots. But if you make this fight a small ring, then it's like, I think it's going to be more of an up-tempo type fight. Small ring, up-tempo type fight. He's going to push it. William Zepeda got to be in the best conditioning of his life, because Shakur going to be in shape. He's going to be in shape. He's known for that, and he has stamina. But, again, you know what? This is the perfect, I think this is the perfect fight. We're going to see what's up. Shout out to LJ Wright. He said, Coach, Stevenson's going to have to fight. Yeah, put it in a small ring. I would love that. Hitman says Shakur won't accept a small ring. It doesn't favor him. Hey, Hitman, you know what? You might have a point there. However, I don't know if he is the one that can make that decision. Did you get what I'm saying? Like, could it be that Turki Alalshikh can be like, look here, man, I'm paying you the type of money that I want to, I'm paying you the type of money that I'm gonna pay you for this fight. I dictate all of the terms. Look, my job is just to pay you the money. I paid you the money. These are the terms of the contract. This fight is going to be in the 18-foot ring. You guys can pick which gloves you want to use or whatever the case may be, and we handle everything else. My job is just to pay y'all. Y'all pay. This is the terms of the contract. That's it. It's non-negotiable or whatever. You know what I mean? So so he should, to someone like a Shakur Stevenson, it shouldn't matter. If he is as good as they say he is, it shouldn't matter if he fight him in a small ring. It doesn't matter. He should be able to do whatever he can do in a small ring against a William Zepeda. What you say, Nate? She says Shakur will find a way to hit and not get hit. That's the sweet science. Sonny Chiba say, he said it won't be a small ring like Farmer versus Zepeda. Undercards got to fight too. I mean, the undercards had to fight against Zepeda and Farmer as well. What's wrong with fighting in a small ring though? Did you get what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong. Like for me, I think all the fighters should fight in a small ring. That's going to fight. That's going to force dudes to fight. It's gonna, you know, again, you should listen. If you are that good, you should be able to do to a fighter what you do in a big ring. You should be able to do that same thing in a smaller ring. If you are that good. So I say, you know what? Let's make it a smaller ring. I would like to see you. Do you know how in sports everything evolves over time? NBA evolved for the worse. NFL evolved for the worse. You know, they don't practice no more. You can't, if you look at the quarterback hard enough, you know, the referee gonna throw a penalty flag, all that stuff there. Boxing has evolved. They used to have 15 rounds, same day weigh-ins. They don't have 15 rounds, the same day weigh-ins no more. So it has evolved from that standpoint. And, you know, you got strength and conditioning coaches now, you know, and, you know, when strength and conditioning coaches came in the game, you know, PED uses went up. You know, I don't know if that has any similarities, but hey. But however, it evolved to that standpoint, right? Fighters get knocked out, they get suspended from 3, 4, 5, 6 months or whatever, and you know, by the sanctioning bodies, and they can't fight anymore till they fully healed or recovered or whatever, even if the fighter wins. Unless your name is Josh Padley. Josh Padley fought Shakur two months ago, and now Josh Padley is fighting again. He didn't suffer any damage against Shakur Stevenson. True. I think the thing they need to change in boxing is make it uniform, no matter what city or state that you're in, no matter what state that you're in, that all the rings should be the same size. Small rings. That would up the tempo. That would up the tempo in boxing. That'll make it a lot faster. And what they need to do is not have long intermissions breaks in between fights. If you got one guy that fought, he left, as soon as they leave in the ring after he fought, the next fight should be coming up and they should be fighting. I think they learned that. Turki Alalshkh learned that in his last fight, this last real season card. One dude leaves, you gotta have another guy. We don't need to be waiting for 20 hours for the main event to start. If people have been waiting long enough, we don't need to wait another 45 minutes to an hour for the main event to start. The co-main event just ended. The main event, they need to be the main event fighters need to be walking to the ring. So you got to speed up the fight cards in between rounds, speed it up, and then make everybody fight in the smaller rings. True. Yeah. Shout out to Polo. Hey, okay. Dropping that quarter of a dub. He say small ring, more action. Shakur got the skills to still make Zepeda miss, small ring or not. Y'all gonna see frustrated Zepeda. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, absolutely. And you know, the small ring does mean more action. And I mean, that's the entire point.
Down from the bar, there's a platform stage. People pimping, sharp as razor blades.
That's the point. That's the point right there. That's the entire point. Look, what we're gonna do, we're gonna make this a smaller ring, baby boy, and y'all make it do what it do. What to say? Shout out to the boxing podcast, the boxing menu podcast. He say either don't run or take a dive. Skinny Black, what you say, fam? You say that's why we need Turki Tank versus Shakur. Oh, yeah. Cut Creator say the main event determines the size of the ring. I don't know if that's the case. Well, the main event is Turki Alalshkh. So you're right about that. The main event determines the size of the ring. The main event is Turki Alalshkh. It ain't no A side, B side. Where the A side fighter dictate this, and the B side fighter don't got nothing to say. With Turki Alalshkh, he eliminates that A side, B side. How much you want? I want this much. How much you want? I want that much. Okay, cool. Sign the contract. Bam. Now this where it's gonna be at. This the size of the ring. This what it's gonna be. So you're right about that. You're right about that. Shout out to John. Salute to you, fam. Willie Summerlin is in the building. I like to see fighters fight in small rings. I do. I like it. I like it myself. You get what I'm saying? Ricky, what you say, Ricky? You say, Coach, do you believe? He say, Coach, do you think 15 rounds? He say, Coach, do you think 15 rounds and same day weigh-ins should come back to boxing? No. Same day weigh-ins, yeah. I think same day weigh-ins should come back to boxing. But 15 rounds, no, I don't think 15 rounds should come back to boxing. You should be able to get the job done. And this is Ricky 245. This is he's on the other podcast, Boxing with Coach Malachi. He has a question. This is matter of fact, I'm gonna let everybody see it. Let everybody see your question. He say, Coach, do you think you know what? Same day weigh-ins. I'm gonna tell you why I like same day weigh-ins. I had interviewed Buddy McGirt, right? I'm in LA, me and Steve Kim. I interviewed Buddy McGirt, and we was talking about weight bullying. And you got a lot of people talking about weight bullying. They do big, they do this, that, yada, 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 blah, blah, yeah, man, and all that stuff there. That's what they were saying, right? And I thought about when Marvin Hagler, one of my favorite fighters, was boxing. I remember, like, a lot of you fans probably too young to remember this, but I remember when they used to have two judges judging the fight, and the referee was the third judge. All you old school boxing fans, do you remember those days? Hagler had some fights like that. Doggone, they got two judges, and the referee has a ballot to cast a vote as well. And they used to put their gloves on inside of the ring. The fighters walk to the ring, jog, trot to the ring, or whatever the case may be, and right there in the ring, there's videos out there on that. And right there in the ring, they'll put the fighter gloves on. Right there in the ring. Facts. True. Jamie, you remember that? Listen, I'm trying to tell you, boy, same day weigh-ins. See, that'll kill all of that. People talking about, oh man, he'll weight bully. They're gonna weigh you early in the morning, and they're gonna weigh you early in the morning, and you have from that 6 o'clock in the morning, the time they weigh all in, all the way up to the night of the fight. Same day weigh-in. Marvin Hagler had to do it. Vito, all of Sugar Ray Leonard, all of them dudes had to do that. All of them. Shout out to Sean from the Heights. He said, this is true. Their hands was already wrapped. Yeah, the hands was already wrapped, but they put the gloves on the side of the ring. Do you remember Sean from the Heights? You remember when the referee used to be one of the judges, cast a vote as well? Listen, I was just looking at a fight not too long ago. Old school fight. I was like, damn, I forgot all about that. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Hey, Boss Dad said the good old days. Willie Summerlin say, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Wide World of Sports. The Wide World of Sports on ABC. Yeah, fam. Yeah. Matter of fact, check this out. And they have fights outside in the sun in the afternoon. 5 o'clock in the afternoon, me and you are going to fight for the title. Same day weigh-in. A 15-round fight. That's why I don't compare the fighters today to the old school. It's to the old school fighters, because I don't know if a Terrence Crawford could perform under those circumstances. I don't know if a Saul Canelo Alvarez can perform under those circumstances. I don't know if a Tank Davis could perform under those circumstances. Same day weigh-in. 15 rounds. No 3 knockdown rule without. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if they could have performed under that. Oh, and guess what, baby boy? You fighting this afternoon. You're going to fight by 5 o'clock in the afternoon in Vegas in the hot-ass desert sun. And we just waged you this morning. So you got between 6 o'clock this morning and 5 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever, or let's say at night, you got about 15 hours, dog, to rehydrate. Hey, shout out to AC International. I don't know if they could have performed under those circumstances. So that's why I don't do no comparison to these guys and those guys. I don't. Brother Styles said Crawford fought outside his first fight. Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I mean, plenty of fighters have fought outside in this era, but I'm saying, bro, did you have the same day weigh in 15 rounds? Do you get what I'm saying? And you're fighting title fights and non-title fights. Title fights and non-title fights. And they're fighting 5-6 times a year. Hell, I'm looking at a fight. What was that? Was that a Hagler? William Monroe 3? I think Hagler and William Monroe fought like 3 times, something like that. Hagler, I remember when Hagler became the middleweight champion, the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. Hagler fought Bobby Seals. Hagler was fighting 4 or 5 times a year, bro. And he had the belt. He fighting 4 or 5 times a year with the belt. These dudes ain't fighting like that. So that's why it's unfair to compare today's era to yesterday's era. You ain't fighting 5 times a year. Champions fought like that. You ain't doing same day weigh-ins. Same day weigh-ins, 15 rounds. Sometimes if you were the champion, you still had to go on the road and defend your belt in another man's country. Hagler did it. You the champ, but you still we got to go. I got to go over here and fight this dude because he the bigger draw over there, and I got to go. And you the champ, man, bro. Like, you get what I'm saying? Shout out to Deal. Hey, okay. Dropping that quarter over. Bam, dub on your boy. Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy. Hey, what to say, Deal? You say in one championship there is no weight cutting. You said you have to weigh in fully hydrated. They do a rinse. I get what you're trying to say, a ring test to see whether you're hydrated and healthy. Okay. Yeah, man. So I mean that's how I see it.
Down from the bar, there's a platform stage. People pimping, sharp as razor blades.
Hey, shout out to Brother Styles. Shout out to Quentin. Quentin say these fighters like to talk more than fight these days. Well, you know what, brother Quentin, it's a different era right now. It's a different era. That's why I don't like comparing eras. It's too flawed of an argument to compare eras. It's too flawed. This era of boxing is easier, in my opinion. Today's boxing is it's a lot easier than it was when in the 80s when Sugar Ray Leonard was boxing. These dudes got cryo chambers, strength and conditioning coaches, dietitians. Well, I'm talking about the fighters who have names and notoriety. They do. So I'm talking about the top guys. We do know the guys on the bottom. They still eat bologna sandwich and the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We know that. And 99% of boxing is comprised of the blue collar fighters. Most of boxing is comprised of blue collar fighters. They have 9-to-5 jobs. You know, some of them do Uber Eats. Some of them are electricians. Some of them are plumbers. They have full-time jobs, and boxing is their part-time job. But they got to stay in shape just in case they phone ring. Just in case they phone ring and they got a fight coming up. They didn't have cryo chambers. Hagler and Sugar Ray Leonard, they had to get it the hard way. No Diddy. Roberto Duran had to get it the hard way. Hey, look here, baby boy. Put some of this Bengay. Man, what happened, man? Man, my shoulder hurt, dog. I hurt my knee. Man, my ribs sore, this and that. Don't worry about it, baby boy. Put some of this Bengay on there. Put some of this Bengay on there, baby boy. Go get in the hot tub. You can go get in the sauna and call it a day. True. Listen, man. The Petronelli, somebody said something about the Petronelli brothers. He said the Petronelli brothers was 65 years old and used to run with Prime Hagler. Man, Marvin Hagler was one of the toughest dudes. You know what I mean? Was one of the toughest dudes that just the mindset. I'm a world champion. I'm fighting any and everybody who come on my path. I don't give a damn who it is. Big, young, strong, old, don't matter. I'm fighting all of them. It was just a different era. Those fighters had a different mentality. You get what I'm saying? So I would never compare any fighter that's walking the earth today in 2025 to any of those guys. Because me personally, I think it's disrespect to those guys. That's why I'm never a prisoner of the moment. You know what I mean? Like, okay, this was a good fight. Night in and night out. Okay, dog, you just fought in January. Okay, we fighting again in March. You're the champion. We got another fight in June. You're the champion. We got another fight in September or October. You're the champion. The people don't see you on TV. This man don't fought 4-5 times this year. Yeah, man, that motherfucker fight. He stay busy. Defending, and guess what? Defending your title against any and all challengers. Sometimes it's gonna be in your backyard. Sometimes it's gonna be in their backyard. I mean, that's just what it is. That's just what it is, fam. You get what I'm saying? Them dudes is cut different, dog. Them dudes is cut different. This era of boxing is easy. This is the diva era. This era of boxing is easy, man. Like, Sugar Ray Leonard, man. Sugar Ray Leonard went through hell to get ready for a fight. Yeah, he did his thing. He was on coke and stuff like that. He did his thing, but they Julio Cesar Chavez, they say Julio Cesar Chavez needs to party like a rock star, get drunk, stuff like that. But when it's time to fight, he it's game time. You know what I mean? This is why, hey, Blood, check this out. Shout out to Retro Boxing the documentary. Hey, okay. That's a boxing historian right there. For dropping that half for Bam Dub on your boy. Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy. Blood say facts, coach. Blood, this is why there was a question that was posed on your podcast when it was said that if Terrence Crawford were to beat Canelo Alvarez, where he would rank amongst the greats in the pound for pound list of all times. And I said, you know what, man, I got to sit back and think about that, man, because there was some hell of a boys that came before him. And I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment. Let's say he was to move up and he beat Canelo. I don't want to say, okay, that make him better than Sugar Ray Robinson, or he passed that, or he passed doggone Willie Pep, or he passed any of those other guys. I'm like, dude, the criteria was just different. This is a one-off. Ain't nothing wrong with a one-off. I ain't got no problem with that. But I'm like, man, the criteria was different, bro. You get what I'm saying? I'm like, do I put him ahead of someone who fought 15 rounds, same day weigh-ins, had title fights, non-title fights, was extremely active throughout his career, fought 5-6 times a year consistently for 10, 11, 12 years, or somewhere of that sort, right? And you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. That's why I say I would have to think about it. And what's gonna be the criteria? Is it as simple as Carla, hold on. Is it as simple as, well, he beat Canelo? Okay, well, how highly do you think of Canelo? Like, there's a lot of factors. What are the factors that what are the things that we're factoring in to come to that conclusion? That's something that, that's something to have a dialogue about. You get what I'm saying? Down from the bar, there's a platform stage. People pimping, sharp as razor blades. Carla, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on, Coach? It's Blood, man.
Hey, Blood, talk to me,
what
brother.
you talking about? Yeah, man, what you talking about is so true, man. The criteria is so different So I thought about it some, and let's say that Terrence Crawford beats Canelo Alvarez. What I've decided to do is I've decided to give him credit over the last 50 years. I could kind of place the 90s with today more so than the 50s and 40s. The further up you go, the more comparable to today, even though the 90s and 80s are not today. But I like to rate them over the last 25 years or something like that.
Okay.
Because I think more so over the last 25 years. Let's say around.
So that's 2000.
The early 2000s.
Early 2000.
The early 2000s is more comparable, really. Yeah. I mean, if we could go back to the 90s and 80s, but I think the 90s and 80s belong in their own category. And then the 70s and 60s. It's usually around a 25-year difference. Like we kind of place them in 25-year categories. Me and some of the other historians have talked about that over the years. R.I.P. to Curtis Anderson.
Yeah, Curtis Anderson.
But yeah, man, you know, like we had agreed, and we did this video years ago. One day I'm going to release it, but I did this video with him. And we talked about the whole thing with the different criteria, and we decided to rate the fighters from 2000 and up, you know, over the past 20 to 25 years or so, because the criteria is somewhat similar, especially if you go back to the early 2000s when the WBA had added on the super belt and they started cheering. So it started really around the early 2000s for this era.
Right.
It's hard for me to say that Terrence Crawford is a greater fighter than the guys who fought in the 1970s and 60s and 50s and stuff, because the criteria is just so damn different. There's a whole bunch of fighters, too, that I think should be in the Hall of Fame, such as Benny Briscoe, who just happened to fight during the era of Carlos Monzon, who was actually on top of the division for over 10 years. Is it fair that Benny Briscoe didn't have any more belts to go get? They split it one time. There was only 2 belts. They split it one time when Carlos Monzon got mad and Rodrigo Valdez came in. They gave Briscoe a chance against another Hall of Fame fighter. But, you know, a lot of the guys who's had all these championships today, under a 2-belt or 1-belt system, I don't think a lot of these guys would have ever been champion. Like, let's take, for instance, today, with all these guys that we have in between 135 and 147. If there was only 3 belts between those 3 divisions, those guys would have had to fight each other. The criteria and the expectation was also different from the fight fans.
Yeah.
The fight fans back then, there was no chance that you would have ever gotten any kind of branding or props and things like that, or be able to build a big fan base without having a belt, because we didn't have social media back then.
Right.
So a lot of the fighters who were like really good back in the day, they got overlooked because there was no social media to assist them and branding and things like that. So it's really unfair to sit here and say that, oh, if Terrence Crawford beats Canelo, he's the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And what you just said made total sense, man. You know, I can't say he's the greatest of all time when he didn't fight under the criteria of the other guys with same-day weigh-ins, 15 rounds, getting gloved up, and sometimes, weighing in 2 hours before the fight. These guys used to weigh in 2 hours before the fight sometimes.
Hey,
imagine Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis having to weigh in 2 hours before the fight. You know, this would have been crazy, man.
Do you remember when the referee used to be one of the judges as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. When you were saying that, I was laughing because that wasn't that long ago. Shit, they were still having the referee as a judge in the 90s. Like some fights would have the referee. You could go into the 90s and find fights like that where the referee is one of the judges.
Yeah.
And that was a common thing back then. It was just so different. It's like unfair to compare the two eras. And then if you start going back to the 50s and 40s before glove inspections and all of that, these guys used to come in with loaded gloves and all kinds of stuff. The gloves are all fucked up. They're coming fighting with old ass gloves.
Yeah.
Smaller gloves.
So you know what?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. We would have to look at fighters like Canelo, Crawford, Tank, Shakur. Those guys. Look at them. Compare them to the fighters within the past 25 years. So that's from 2000 all the way up to now. I can go for that. Those cats that came out of them that 80s, you know, that run. A lot of them guys came out of the 80s. They started boxing in the 70s. I think Hagler started boxing in 73, 74, somewhere around there. And
Yes.
and like you said,
it was 73. You're right.
73.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So you know, like that era, they came through. They came through the 70s. Then they had to come through those 80s. A lot of them retired in the 80s. Some of them retired in the 90s. But that criteria that they, you know, it's kind of unfair to me. I don't like, you know, because you know me, I love, you know, I love them old school cats. I'm like, man, them dudes, that's the era, that's the golden era. You know, that era there, the 80s, right. The 90s or whatever, you know what I mean? Yep. And this criteria is different. This is more of a diva era. You know, like somebody like some of these fighters fight once a year. They don't have to take their bodies through what some of those guys that you're comparing them to had to take their bodies through in order to get ready for a fight, because they're fighting more often, but they don't need longer training camps because they're fighting more often. They stay in shape. These dudes, they got 10, 11, 12 week training camps because they're only fighting once a year. You know, so.
Hey, Coach, you know what? There's two significant things that happened in the early 80s that made it a new era. So I'll say the early 80s, even though the early 80s and the 90s belong in its own era.
They do.
And then you could start again in the 2000s. But the two significant things is the fight that happened between what's his name, Ray Boom Boom Mancini, and that the Oriental guy Kim.
Yeah.
That guy died in the ring.
Died in the ring. Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, he died in the ring. So they had that fight. And then the weigh-in between Michael Spinks and Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, because what happened was the networks got involved. Eddie Mustafa Muhammad came into the ring overweight, so that's when they started doing it was a network issue as to why they started doing same-day weigh-in, because the networks didn't want to lose out, because Michael Spinks, he refused to fight Eddie Mustafa Muhammad because Eddie Mustafa Muhammad came in overweight. Now what does HBO do? HBO don't got to fight now, so they wanted to kill that by bringing in the day before weigh-in. Now the 15-round thing came as a result of some rough fights that was coming. There was another fight with this guy that Alan Minter had killed somebody in '79 in the ring, and that was hyped up. Yeah. His name was Pico or some shit like that. And then the thing with Kim and Ray Boom Boom Mancini. So they had been pushing to go back to the 12, well, not to go back because they had never did it, but to go to 12 rounds. That was more of a safety issue, whereas the same day weigh-in was more of a money thing. But those were big things that changed in the 80s, was that fights went to 12 rounds, championship fights, and that the weigh-ins was held the day before, which gave fighters a chance to rehydrate. It didn't really work out well for fighters like Hagler, who was always weighing in at around, because Hagler used to come into them fights weighing 156 and 157 and stuff. In today's rule, he could have rehydrated down to fucking probably to 147 with the way they do things now. 154, 147, he would have been able to make those weights and then come in the next day at 160. He hardly ever weighed 160. He always weighed in the late 150s. So it was kind of a disadvantage for the fighters who would fight close to their walking around weight. But the fighters who were younger, they started taking advantage of that rehydration thing. That's what ended up happening. And they started fighting in weight classes they really didn't belong in. So it's not fair to take Terrence Crawford. Like someone in your comment section just said, if somebody wants to put Terrence Crawford as the greatest fighter ever just because he beat Errol Spence and Canelo Alvarez, it is criminal. It's very criminal, especially to fighters like from the turn of the century, like Barbados Joe Walcott, a welterweight that was 5'1" that knocked out. This welterweight was 5'1", he would knock out 6'5" heavyweights. He beat one of the guys that Jack Johnson got stopped by. There was guys in the environment back in the day that was 5'1", 5'2". Another one was the guy who fought. He was from Peter Jackson. His name was Peter. There was two Peter Jacksons. There was a heavyweight and there was a welterweight. But the welterweight Peter Jackson was was 5'4" or something, you could beat the shit out of heavyweights and all kinds of stuff. These guys are vicious. I never seen Floyd Mayweather beat a top-rated heavyweight.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
They say Tate knocking out heavyweights in sparring.
I heard about that, but we have to see that in a competitive bout. That doesn't count. Barbados Joe Rockett had to go in there with heavyweights with 6-ounce gloves on, you know, and then back in the day, before the TV and all of that stuff, the only thing these fighters had when they was riding on the back of them bandwagons was some newspaper article with a painting of the fighter. You know how they would draw the little sketches of the fighters and stuff back in the day? They didn't have no video footage. The trainers didn't have nothing to go off of. Who you call it? Blackburn used to travel around and train and try to catch his opponent's fights and stuff like that, especially when he got into training. But things were so different. It's just not right to do that, man, to say that Terrence Crawford is the greatest of all time, knowing good and well that, especially Floyd Mayweather with his fragile hands, he could not have survived in the turn of the century fight.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't think any of these fighters are. It's Crawford. What is Tank? Like I even had people tell me, man, what you think of Tank? Roberto Duran fought. Well, you know how hard Tank hit. I'm like, man, bro, like, you know, I don't like doing those comparisons. It's hypotheticals, and I'm like, the criteria. What I do know is this here: those guys went through a lot more. They went through a lot more fire. They had to become very more refined under harsher conditions. And them being able to overcome those harsher conditions in that time frame made them who they are. They didn't get their names like, you know, like the stuff that Canelo was doing now. Man, I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I got a whole list of fighters in the 80s. Like he had way more losses than what he had. Mike McCallum, Jerry McClellan, Hagler, you know, Roberto Duran, you know, Hearns, you know, but it's
especially McCallum, that first one you named, McCallum. Man, oh my goodness, man. I don't think that Canelo could have beat McCallum at 154 pounds. In my opinion, I just don't think so.
Well, man,
not prime McCallum.
Yeah, you know, now he probably could have got maybe a Michael Nunn was a bad boy too. He got chin check, but you know, but I'm just saying it just some of those fighters that came out of that era that fought under the criteria that they came out of. I'm like, nah, some of these dudes as Blood say this all the time. Some of these dudes that's hell of a fighters right now that some of y'all look at and praise, they'll just be a regular fighter in that era. They'll just be a regular fighter. Literally.
Yeah, because there wouldn't have been no belt for them to get. The ones who were even good might have fell into Benny Briscoe bracket to where there was just a better fighter in the environment for 10 years. You know, like maybe one or two better fighters, which is what Benny Briscoe's situation was. That guy was at least in the top three middleweights, and he even fought Monzon to a draw, but he was in the top three middleweights for over a decade, well over a decade.
Yeah.
Ending out with fighting Hagler, taking him the distance, but a guy like him, for instance, a lot of these guys who were really good might have, even a Terrence Crawford might have ended up falling in that bracket back in them days, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you know,
so it's not really right.
And again, you know, Crawford's one of my favorite fighters, but I'm not going to allow him being one of my favorite fighters or Canelo being one of my favorite fighters. I'm not going to get caught up in the hyperbole. No, they are good for this era. They good for 2025, 24, 23, 18, 19, 20, 15, whatever. They good for this era. You say the last 25 years, I can go for that. Mm-hmm. Anything past 25
Me
years,
too.
Yeah, I don't know. And that because the 80s was brutal, bro. The 80s was brutal. It was brutal.
It was brutal, and so was the 70s. And the further you go back,
it was way more.
The further they go back, the more brutal. Because let's not forget that when Ali and Liston was fighting, those old fighters like Jack Dempsey and them, they were all still alive, and they were saying that boxing was soft now. They do it all the time.
Yeah, they said that.
Who you call it did it? What's his name? The first champion again, John L. Sullivan, used to say it about Jack Johnson. They wouldn't have stood a chance in my day of the bare knuckles. And, you know, they always say something different no matter what. You know, it's always a criticism.
The older cats always hating on the cats who came after them.
Yeah. But there's a lot of truth to that stuff when you could back it up with things.
Criticism,
When you could back it up, though, Coach, with things like, hey, we used to fight 15 rounds, and then you got someone else saying, hey, I fought shit when there was unlimited rounds or whatever. They would back it up with stuff that you really would have to consider because boxing was softening up decade by decade, and it's continuing to do that a little bit. They've got bigger gloves, all kinds of different things, glove inspections, all kinds of stuff they didn't have back in the day. I wanted to say one more thing before I leave, man. Roberto Duran, he always comes up in these discussions. But see, here's the problem. A lot of people don't know Roberto Duran. They don't know his career. They like to bring up the Sugar Ray Leonard fight and the No Mas and things like that. But they don't know how good some of these guys he fought, like Ken Buchanan and those guys are straight killers from back in them days, man. Esteban de Jesus and all them, they don't know those guys, man. They don't know nothing about those guys, and they want to sit up here and criticize Duran. That's older Duran in the 1980s. The guy who fought Sugar Ray Leonard is not prime Duran. Prime Duran started fighting in the 1960s, man. To build up to become the greatest lightweight champ.
What
68 or 69. Yep, you're right. 68, 69. Yes, sir. Absolutely. But yeah, man, I just wanted to say, man, you spin some real fire with that, man. It's the truth. With everything you just said, man. Dog, Coach, you nailed it right there.
Let me ask you this question. What was it about? What was the fighter that was it Bobby Watts? What was it about Bobby Watts? I don't know which one gave Hagler his first life. Was it Bobby Watts or William Monroe? One of them. What was it about those guys that gave Hagler? I think they only fought they didn't fight 15 rounds at those particular fights. This was prior to Hagler winning the belt. He didn't have a title at that time. But what was it about them that gave him, I guess, problems, or like they not problems? But
so I'm gonna tell you with Boogaloo Watts, right? You had Boogaloo Watts. You had a whole bunch of these fighters out of you had Willie Monroe, Boogaloo Watts, and you had Benny Briscoe. There was a whole bunch of fighters out of Philly. Yeah. Willie Monroe in his first fight with Hagler, they don't have a televised. It was recorded though. There's verification. It was recorded. It was a bad stormy night. That's the fight that Hagler admitted that he feels he lost. He said that he believes that Willie Monroe got that decision. He made no excuses. Yeah. Hagler got his nose was bleeding throughout the whole fight. But what Hagler didn't want to admit, but the Petronelli brothers did, right, is that Hagler had the flu. When the Petronelli brothers wanted to say, he had the flu, Hagler tried to shut him up and say, just get me a rematch with him. He didn't want to make no excuses because the men back then were real men. Now, Boogaloo Watts, Hagler always said, when I get him in the ring again, because I whooped him the first time. From what a lot of people believe, Hagler beat Boogaloo Watts in the first fight. The Monroe one is the one that beat him. Monroe is probably, some people say Monroe's the only person to ever beat Hagler. Like people who were around back then who actually saw that fight and things like Bert Sugars and people like that. They said that the only person to ever beat Hagler was Monroe, because some people believe that Sugar Ray Leonard didn't beat Hagler. Yeah. But Willie Monroe, but Hagler, he made up for that. He beat Monroe 2 times after that. 2 times after that, yeah. So, I mean, he knocked him out pretty easy.
Yeah, he ran it back.
They ran it back. And when he ran it back with Watts, you saw what happened when he did what he did to Watts too.
Yeah. He gonna run it back, because it was a matter of pride with Hagler. Hagler like, no, man, And what about let me ask you this. I don't know if you know the answer to this. Mm-hmm. How many a lot of those fighters you had Philly, but then you had some Detroit fighters that Hagler had to fight. What's the dude name? They call him Caveman Lee. How many
Caveman Lee was a really good fighter.
Yeah. That was an Emmanuel Stewart fighter.
He was actually for a short period of time.
And he was training Tommy Hearns at that time. Because from what I remember, I think Tommy Hearns and Hagler was supposed to fight like the early 80s, like 1982, somewhere around that time. But Hearns,
there was mentioning that back then.
He hurt his hand. He had like several hand injuries. So Hagler ended up fighting Caveman Lee, which was being trained by, he was bigger than Hagler, taller than Hagler, trained by Emmanuel Stewart at that time. And Hagler got him out of there in the first round.
Well, the thing about Caveman Lee, back in them days, you remember, first of all, it was same-day weigh-in. There was no 168, right? So all those guys that would have fit into 168 today, they had to either fit in the 175 or 160 because there was that 15-pound difference, and they had to weigh that shit 3 or 4 hours before the fight. So they had a big advantage when 168 came in. And not only that, now it's you get to rehydrate. So when 168 came, which really 168 didn't get popular until they proposed it back in the 60s or something, but it really came through in the Roberto Duran's, not Roberto Duran, Thomas Hearns, James Kinchin fight was the first 168, I believe, championship fight, and that was like in 88 or 89 or something like that. So Caveman Lee probably would have been able to avoid Hagler, become a multiple champion. I'm telling you now, Caveman Lee would have been able to go to 168, not even have to fight Hagler, probably become a two-time 168-pound champion, and under today's standards, that's enough to get you into the Hall of Fame, right? So under these standards, if Caveman Lee probably did well, he could have done Hagler. He had no choice but to fight Hagler. And to be real, Caveman Lee wasn't ready for Hagler because Caveman Lee didn't have very many fights. By the time Caveman Lee was retired, I think this guy might have had about 25 fights or something by the time he retired, which was a small amount of fights for back then. But what got him the championship bout is that this guy had a KO streak going. And he had lost before Hagler because he fought Frank the Animal Fletcher. Frank the Animal Fletcher beat Caveman Lee. You know what I'm saying? So, but he was still a good fighter because he would knock out people. That's what people wanted.
You're right, Blood.
But Hagler fought really good. He fought better fighters than Caveman Lee. He fought Mustafa Hamsho. That guy was bad as fuck. Vito Antifermo is a legendary fighter. Alan Minter is one of the greatest middleweights to ever come out of the UK.
Willie Warren? Fought Willie Warren.
He fought Willie the Worm Monroe, which was Willie Warren. Willie Warren. He fought Willie Warren. Willie Warren was a fighter that had just a whole bunch of fights. By the time he fought Hagler, Willie Warren was kind of like one of the Glenn Johnson type guys. He had a lot of losses. When I did the documentary, Willie Warren had over 30 losses from what I remember, right? But he was experienced because he had like 80 fights. You know what I'm saying? So he beat Marcus Geraldo, who was like the Mexican middleweight champion. And Mike Colbert was a damn good fighter. He took his O. He took a whole bunch of people's O too. That's another thing that Hagler would always do. He fought what's that one guy's name? He fought one guy that a lot of people don't know about that gave him hell, and he had to fight him a second time. And he was known as the Sugar Demon or something like that.
What was it? It wasn't Fulgencio. It was a fighter name Fulgencio. Obel. No, that wasn't.
No, it was his name was Darnell Wick. It was Darnell Wickfall, I think his name was. They called him the Sugar Demon, and this guy was the first guy to actually say, "Who wants to smoke?" He used to come to the ring with a pipe in his mouth, and he would say, "Who wants to smoke?" all the time. So just to show that this kind of stuff comes up. Go read about him. His name's Darnell Wickfall.
I didn't even know that. He said he wants to
and
smoke.
not only that, Darnell Wickfall beat him up, beat Hagler up, and got him into boxing. Because when Hagler went to when he was looking at the gyms in Boston when he moved from New Jersey, he went over to the Petronelli gym, and he went over to another gym where Wickfall was at. Wickfall beat him up in a fight, and he ended up going to the Petronellis and getting a fight with Wickfall later. And Wickfall gave him he had like a psychological thing. They say he tore Hagler up is impressive. The articles are still out there. But the brothers back then was cut different. They say he could out-talk anybody. He used to make rhymes like Ali and stuff, and he tore Hagler up at the presses, but there's no video footage of it, but there's newspaper articles, hundreds of them.
I forgot all about that. What you just said. Marvin Hagler is from New Jersey.
Yeah, he's from New Jersey. He left after the riots. You remember the New Jersey riots happened? He left after that.
I forgot all about that. Hagler moved. Yeah, he from New Jersey, and he moved to Brockton. Yeah. Oh man, I forgot all about that.
He also took the O from Sugar Ray Seals, the Olympic 1972 Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, he
beat him.
Damn, I forgot all
about that. He beat a whole bunch of guys who would be champs today. You know how many belts Sugar Ray Seals would have probably had if he was he could pick between 4 different belts and tiers and all that stuff. All them guys would have had all kind of belts from back then. So they want to put these guys in the dark and replace them for guys like what's his name, Carl Froch, and people like that because they had a few belts and stuff. Carl Froch can't hold Benny Briscoe's jockstrap, and none of them other guys either. To be honest with you, I ain't gonna say Timothy Bradley because I know that's your homeboy, so I'll leave that alone. Right?
You can say Timothy Bradley. I tell Tim that. Shit, I tell Bud that. Look here, dog. Look here. You good. I like you. You know, one of my favorite fighters, but dog, I ain't comparing to the other dude. I'll probably have an argument with Bernie the Boss about that because Bernie the Boss, he's a boxing historian too, like yourself. So Bernie always going, you know, Bud is the greatest in his eyes. So, you know, but he know his stuff when it comes to boxing. Yeah, me, I'm like, nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't going that far. You get what I'm saying? Like, no, they good for this era.
Right.
But those dudes that what you naming, there's a whole bunch of some of these dudes that champions now. Man, they have some of these dudes that got olds right now on their resume. Oh, they have about 4, 5, 6 losses. Easy.
Oh yeah, they would. But,
easy.
Because look how they did Hagler. They put him through that Philly circuit.
Yeah.
You had to go through the Philly circuit.
Had to go through the Philly circuit.
What's his name? Monzon didn't want to fight those Philly fighters.
No.
Hagler and his manager, the Petronellis, they tried to get a Monzon fight. People always say stuff like, well, Monzon was done by the time Hagler. No, Hagler was there and he was highly rated, and they considered taking a contract to fight Hagler because they was trying to do an American debut for Carlos Monzon. They picked the guy that was afraid of Hagler, Tony Licata. Tony Licata was this fighter that was this hyped up fighter who was like Italian. I forgot what it was, Italian or something. He had the complexion for the protection, you know, and he got them bouts, and he got a fight with Monzon in his only American fight. But Monzon specifically said he wanted a black fighter, and he had narrowed it down to Sugar Ray Seals, Willie Monroe, or Marvin Hagler, and he didn't fight neither one of them. He had fought Benny Briscoe. The only reason they really don't ride Monzon about the Philly circuit, and a lot of historians do, but the real reason why they don't really ride him is because he fought Benny Briscoe multiple times. But Benny Briscoe, Willie Monroe was a great fighter too, and so was fucking Boogaloo Watts. Those guys could fight. Boogaloo Watts, Hagler always had his number because they said he beat the fuck out of beat the hell out of Boogaloo Watts in their fight. So, and once again, you got Sugar Ray Seals, you got Marcos Geraldo. These guys were bigger guys who ended up, some of these guys went to light heavyweight and all kind of stuff. Benny Briscoe, he fought Benny Briscoe, you know what I mean? And then this is the 70s that I'm talking about. I'm not even talking about the 1980s once he started after Vito Antuofermo, where he was fighting Hamsho, and another guy he beat was that Oba Mahias guy. That guy was undefeated when Hagler fought him. That guy was knocking everything out. He fought him. He fought Tony Simpson. Tony Simpson and Wilfred Scipion and them guys, those were really good fighters. Scipion beat Frank the Animal Fletcher. And Tony Simpson, he was one of the best from out of the UK, Tony Simpson. So, you know, but at the time he beat them, these guys were young and had momentum.
I think I know which guy you're talking about. I think Hagler was the champion when he fought the Oba Mahias guy. I think Hagler.
Yeah, when he fought Oba Mahias, who was that guy was a killer in there, man. But that guy was like 30-something and over, would have had multiple belts under this system.
They fought.
He fought him. He fought all those guys, man.
Hagler had a bunch of fights in the Boston, right? The Garden. Boston Garden. He had a bunch of fights.
He fought a lot of times in Boston because he claimed he fought out of Boston because he claimed Boston, but he would fight a lot out of Atlantic City too.
Yeah, Atlantic City. He fought a lot of Atlantic City as well. Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Man, damn, bro.
He was somewhere up in north between them.
Man, hey, boy, you baby, I forgot all about that, man. Hagler from New Jersey. So anyway, we need Shakur Stevenson. If you're watching this show, if you hear about this here, Marvin Hagler's from Jersey. We need you to tap into your inner Marvin Hagler, even though you don't have that type of style. But I'm just saying.
I never thought about that. I never made that connection before, man.
See, we need you to tap into your inner marvelous Marvin Hagler, baby. You get what I'm saying? Hagler from, bam. You know what I mean?
Yep. Man. I never even thought about that, man. He's from New Jersey also. But yeah, man, Hagler, man, he went through one hell of a, because they put him through a lot. what happened is in the late 70s, they started doing them tournaments. And this is how I found out about the Don King tournament and the CBS and the ABC tournament that eventually fucked boxing up for a little while. Yeah. But in one of those tournaments, it was supposed to be a middleweight.
That fake ass ranking system.
Don King, yeah.
Don King.
Yeah, exactly. The Don King one was supposed to have Hagler. But see, here's the problem. Don King had a fighter in there. I think it was Tony Licata. Tony Licata said, because he was the popular kind of, the white fighter that was popular. So Tony Licata told him, it's all over in the newspapers. If you guys look on the internet, you can find articles, right? But Tony Licata said, if Hagler comes into that tournament, and so did several others, I am not going to be in that tournament if Hagler comes in. Only to end up getting a fight with damn well Carlos Monzon. You know what I'm saying? People like to say that Hagler was in there for Monzon. He was, man. He was already ranked before. When Monzon was negotiating with Rodrigo Valdez, he wanted to do his, around that time period, he wanted to do his American debut. He did in the fight with, even after Licata, he still entertained fighting an American fighter. He wanted to fight an American black fighter in America. Yeah. But he just couldn't get it. They couldn't get it through.
Yeah, see, a lot of shit. Hey, boy, shit. If he was in this era, it'd be sweet. He'd be like, shit. You know what I mean? These American black fighters today, they ain't like the American black fighters of old. So it's a little bit more sweeter now. But hey, but Blood, look here, man. Yeah, I'm finna get ready to wrap up, man. I appreciate you, man. We can go on. We can go on and on. Talk
appreciate
about
it, Coach, man.
Yeah,
man. I love talking. I should have came. I wish I would have known you was doing the Hagler special. But I was working I was working really hard that day, man. And I had no idea you were doing that special. And I listened to it. I was like, man, I wish I could have joined Coach for that conversation, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we probably gonna do a part 2, man. Hey, but Blood, man, thank you, brother, for calling the show. I appreciate you.
Okay, man.
Blood
Take
Boston,
it easy,
man.
brother.
Boston historian, bro. That's my man, Boston historian, bro. God damn, boy. Yeah, anything I don't know, man, I reach out to Blood or Bruce Gas or whoever the case may be. Yeah, man. I'm like, damn, I forgot all about that. Hagler is from New Jersey. Damn, Hagler from goddamn Jersey. Bro, I forgot all about that. Yeah, we need. Hey, you get what I'm saying? Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Jamie from New York.
Jamie, talk to me 2 times.
Coach, man, I don't know how the hell I'm going to follow that up, bro. Hey, listen. First thing I want to say, salute to Blood and respect to New York. That's a real boxing historian right there, man.
Yeah, he knows.
When it comes to this boxing history shit, he's a heavyweight. Real talk, man. When he talks, I shut up and listen, bro, for real. Anyway, respect to him, man. Coach, real quick, man. When I came back to the States in '89, I remember seeing the first fight. I saw them fighting outdoors before, but it never registered. And I believe it was Maramero Pius. He was at Caesar Palace, 3 p.m., bro. You know what I'm saying? Outdoors. 15 rounds. That was shocking to me because I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? Coach, these guys today cannot do that shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And another thing, Coach, 15 rounds was no joke, man. And I tell you, Coach, I heard you guys talking about Hagler. Listen, man, that guy was a monster, bro. And for me, what makes a great fighter is the amount of times you defend the title.
Yeah.
Because winning the belt is hard enough. But defending it, bro, it's a lot harder. You have all these motherfuckers coming for you. You know how much work, how hard it is? You know how much work, hard work you have to put in to remain champ, Coach? Like those motherfuckers did back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They weren't multiple champs, division champs, because there weren't that many weight classes. But
no, you had to fight everybody. You couldn't, there was no such thing as, oh man, you got to earn the right to fight me. Like in today's time, someone like a Tank or whatever, or his team can come out and say, well, just don't mention his name for a year and we'll consider it or this and that. No, what you got to do is okay, if there's an overall consensus that Tank is the champion, you're going to have to fight all those other guys. So you got to fight Shakur. Yep. He's going to be number 1. No, I'm just throwing numbers out there. He might be the number 1 contender. Then the number 2 contender is Keyshawn. The number 3 contender is Devin Haney. The number 4 contender may be Frank Martin. The number 5 contender may be Isak Cruz. And you have to fight if you want to keep your title. And Hagler will fight. I'm gonna fight Keyshawn in January. Let's say Hagler was Tank. Hagler be like, I'm gonna fight Keyshawn in January. I'm gonna fight Tank in just throw Tank in there. I'm gonna fight Tank in April. I'm gonna fight Shakur Stevenson in June. I'm gonna fight Eastside Cruz in October. Like, that's why I say this era right here, I can't compare these guys to those guys. Because this era, they don't fight the top guys that's in a row or the other champions like that. They don't do that.
Yep.
So I can't compare these guys to those guys. I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. Same, same day weigh-ins, man. I look back and I think about this. I'm like, man, these motherfuckers really got it good, man. But and listening to you talking about the Shakur fight, I'm excited. To be honest with you, for me, the ring size does not matter for Zepeda. We all know he fights only one way and he's throwing his. But for Shakur, I feel that this is his chance to shut everybody up, me included.
Yeah.
The bigger ring will benefit him, but fuck the ring size. Get in there and do like Whitaker used to do, man. Embarrass motherfuckers. You got to take their soul. Shakur wants to win fans over. It's easy. This is the fight. Stay in the pocket a little longer. You know what I mean? Let the dog out. Get busy, and I guarantee you, Shakur, you make a statement against this guy. You know what I mean? He'll be all right. And when it comes to Zepeda, I also give him a chance. He's a volume puncher, and again, we all know he's throwing hits. But Coach, listening to you and Blood talk, that was amazing. Respect from New York to both of you.
Absolutely.
I'm out.
Yeah, man. Let's see who we got here. Who we have here? That's Blood. Hey, man, shout out to Fresh. Hey, okay. Manny, Fresh. Shout out to Fresh, man. Dropping that half for bam, dub on your boy. Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
Playtime's over, boy. He said, salute the Coach and Blood. He said, y'all talking some old school, fam. He said, one love. Yeah, man. Yeah, you know what? I didn't know we were gonna be talking that long, but yeah, fam, for sure. Shout out to the Martin. Hey, okay. Dropping that $2. Bam, super chat on your boy. He say, salute the Blood Box for calling in. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, again, as I said before, I like these fighters today, but I just come from I remember that era, the 80s. I don't necessarily remember the 70s all that well, to be honest with you, but I definitely remember the 80s, and a lot of those fighters in the 80s came from the 70s, and I had to go back and look at film and stuff, look at who was who, and I'm telling you, bro, like y'all don't understand, fam, it's sweet today. Boxing is sweet today. It's sweet. Because this is the equivalent of what the Sugar Rays, you don't have to be you don't have to be a multi-division multi-division champion. You don't have to move up and yeah, man, to be pound for pound or whatever the case may be. If you are in a certain weight division, let's say 160 is my y'all remember this here?
I'm sorry? 160 is my weight division. I want to unify. I want to get Golovkin in the ring. I want to bring him to Houston. You know what I'm saying? I want to get Canelo out here to Houston. If they really to come down to 160, this is my weight division.
I know a fighter that 160 was his weight division. He wanted to unify from Newark, New Jersey, move to Brockton, Massachusetts. Shout out to the Perinelli brothers. RIP to them and the Marvelous One. When they said they wanted to unify, they unified. He had 50 fights before he got a shot at the title. After it was a draw, he fought 4 more fights, fought Mentor and doggone in the UK, and the rest was history. He stopped him. Then he held on to the undisputed titles for 7 years straight before he lost to Sugar Ray Leonard in a controversial split decision. And he had to fight. Put it this way. Let's just hypothetically say this. Let's say Demetrius Andrade, Jamel Charlo, Saul Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez, Dimitri Bivol, Zerda Ramirez was all in the same weight division. I'm just doing this I'm trying to paint a picture to you younger people out here. Let's say they was all in the same weight division. And let's say I was the middleweight champion, just for argument's sake, for the sake of argument purposes. I would have had to fight Canelo. And if I beat him, Jamal Charlo. If I beat him, Jamel Charlo. If I beat him, David Benavidez. If I beat him, Triple G. If I beat him, like there was no, oh man, you ain't did enough. It's once you beat the number 1 ranked guy, you got to fight the number 2 ranked guy. Once you beat the number 2 ranked guy, you got to fight the number 3 ranked guy. Man, that's a hard fight. That's tough. It don't matter. And guess what? I'm gonna fight Canelo, Jamal Charlo, Jamil Charlo, and potentially Triple G, all in the same calendar year. All in the same calendar year. True. That's why I say, and this ain't no disrespect to the fighters today. That's why I say I don't look at your fighter the way you look at your fighter. I don't look at Tank the way you look at Tank. I don't look at Shakur the way you look at Shakur. Or even, and y'all know I love Bud, but even Bud, or even Canelo, or even Tyson Fury, or even Anthony Joshua, or even Jamal Charlo, or Jamil Charlo. I don't look at these dudes like that. I look at them from the scope of today's time. In today's time, all of those guys I just named, they are the ish. They are the ish in today's time. You get what I'm saying? Because the criteria is different. That's all. True. This the last call. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Martin from Oakland.
Martin, talk to me.
Yeah, coach, man, just hearing you and Blood Boxing talk shop. Oh my God, man, straight history lesson. I mean, these cats were from an era where there was no such thing as picking up a vacant belt. All these multi-division champs right now, all off of picking up vacant belts. Yeah. Shakur picked up 2 out of his 4. Broner picked up 2 out of his 4, and he 4-division champ. You know what I'm saying? Back then, when you were a champ, that meant something. That meant you earned that belt. Not no politics, not no networks, not no nothing. You were the baddest motherfucker on the planet at that weight class. I mean, when you look at it, coach, they had less weight classes, fought more rounds, had more, same day weigh-ins. Could you make it any harder for a fighter back then?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Bro. That was hard, bro.
Had some bullshit gloves, had bullshit training. You know what I mean? The fucking, when they cut weight, they didn't drink no type of motherfucking water. They didn't do it like they do now. You know what I mean? The fact that these men were able to do what they did with what little knowledge they had is amazing, coach. It's amazing. I mean, man, anybody talking shit about these cats, them legends over the fighter show today, they need to slap themselves, man, because that's blasphemy,
you talking about
coach.
bad dudes like, I'm talking about bad Mexican fighter like Finito Lopez. Man, Finito Lopez was a hell of a dude, bro. Finito Lopez, you got doggone my main man Salvador Sanchez, these dudes, these some hell of a, not only fighters, but hell of a Mexican fighters. Like, man, these dudes were nothing to play with, bro. Like, man, it is what it is, man. Hey, Martin, man. Hey, thank you for calling the show, brother. I appreciate it. Oaktown, stand up.
For sure, coach.
Yes, sir. Yeah, these dudes here, man. Hey, these Mexican fighters you got now, they watered down today. This ain't no shade. This ain't no shade now. But listen, that boy Finito Lopez wasn't nothing. Y'all look up Finito Lopez. That was a hell of a dude. The criteria, I'm saying, the criteria different, dog. Criteria different. That's all I'm saying, fam. That's all I'm saying, bro. Y'all got to take that into consideration. The criteria was different. Listen, put it this way. When you want to compare a fighter of today's time to the fighters of the 80s, ask yourself this one question. Could your favorite fighter today fight under those circumstances? What circumstances am I talking about? Can he fight 15 rounds? Can he do same-day weigh-ins? Can he defend his title against all of the top guys in his division without skipping them, without saying they ain't fought nobody, without saying you on the wrong side of the street, without saying we out-hemming fighters, without saying we top-rank fighters, without saying, oh, you know, it's about putting butts in seats, without saying any of that, without being able to hide behind your promoter or something. Could your favorite fighter do that in that time? And not only that, you would have to fight Tank, Shakur, Devahaney, Teofimo Lopez, and Lomachenko within a 14 or 15 month time period. Could your fighter do that? 15 rounds, same day weigh-ins. That's the question you need to ask yourself. Could he do that? That's all I'm saying, B. Let's give everybody a round of applause. Hell, in today's time, we got fighters like my favorite fighter right now, the Puerto Rican assassin, Edgar Berlanga. We got fighters in today's time, we got fighters that lose a 12-round decision and they go on a world tour for losing. Think about that. Being the champion meant something at that time. It don't mean nothing no more. I had to come to the realization that the belts don't matter no more. I came to that realization 2 weeks ago. And 2 weeks ago, I was in denial. 2 weeks ago, I realized, you know what, they're right, it don't matter. Because the belt did not make the fighter made the belt. It was a sense of pride to be a champion because all of the hell, the pain, the blood, the sweat, the tears, the sacrifices that you had to go through in order to become a champion. So once you got that belt, you fought for that belt. When you were the champion, you fought like your life depended on it because it literally did. If you lost the belt, you're going to get paid less money. If you win the belt, you're going to get paid more money. Your fighters don't fight. Your fighters don't fight with that sense of urgency today. They don't do that. They don't do that. Hey, shout out to Foodie. What's going on? She say brings new meaning to world-class losers. There go Foodie. Foodie. Oh, there she go. There she go. There she go. Hey, these dudes talking about taking knees and sticking their head out of the window, sticking their head out of the ring, and talking about, well, the reason why I took a knee because I just got my hair done. You want me to believe that a fighter who takes a knee in the middle of the fight, take a timeout, stick his head through the ropes, who said, oh, the reason why I did it, I just got my hair done, that guy's gonna beat Roberto Duran? When Tommy the Hitman Hearns had a Jerry curl with activator and moisturizer in his hair, and he didn't take one knee because some Jerry curl juice got in his eyes. I'm telling you, bro. I don't look at your fighter the way you look at him. He all right. He all right. You get what I'm saying? But that's it. That's it. That's it. Anyways, this ain't no shade. This ain't no shade. I'm telling you, I have a boxing criteria. My boxing criteria is it's not based on promotional companies. It's not based on butts and seats. It's not based on how many social media followers you have. It's not based on how many YouTube channels cap for you. My boxing, those are not boxing criteria. Those are popularity criteria. I don't use popularity talking points to make a boxing argument. Let me repeat. I do not use popularity talking points to make a boxing argument. I use boxing talking points to make a boxing argument. I have a criteria. My 5 criteria is this. Number 1, what was the level of competition you fought? Check. If you fought all the top guys, that's check. That's box 1. Number 2, how many top 10s you fought? Fighters you fought. Hagler fought all of them. The top 50. All right. Number 3, did you dominate the weight division? If you did not move up, become a multi-weight division world champion, it's low. Did you dominate the division that you was in? Roberto Duran dominated the 135. Hagler dominated 160. He ain't move up, but he dominated. Number 4, how many career-defining fights have you had? A lot of those guys back then had quite a few career-defining fights. And number 5, did you fight the best in the division? Well, if you stayed in the division for a long time, you had to fight the best in there. Because you couldn't afford the duck. You couldn't, there was no such thing as, you know, hey man, wait a minute now, hold on, what you got to do now? So you got to fight Ray Ray, then you got to fight Megatron, then you got to fight Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Starscream, Rumble, you got to fight Ravage, you see, you got to fight doggone Donkey Kong, you got to fight Donkey Kong Jr., Godzilla, King Kong, Bubbles, Buttercup, you know, Bubbles, Buttercup, Blossom, Mojo Jojo. You got to fight all them before you get to me. No, if you was the champion, Godzilla is next. King Kong is after him. Mum-Ra is after him. He-Man is after him. Lion-O is after him. All of the Thundercats. You cannot avoid those guys. You didn't have the luxury of, oh man, you know, well, you know, you ain't, you know what I mean? You got a lot more to prove before you get to me. No, if he in your weight division and he next, nigga, you got to fight him. True. You got to fight him. These dudes ain't that. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to Swat Jones. Hey, okay. Dropping that half for bam, dub on your boy. Hey, Leroy.
Super chat received.
He said that part, coach. He said, when our fighter won, we all won. Roy Jones is my favorite fighter. Body Head Squad. He said, we had so much fun. I'm just saying, you had to fight, dog. Like, these dudes ain't throwing hands like that. They boxing, but they not throwing hands. They threw hands back then. You had to do that. That's all I'm saying, fam. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? You have to fight all of your number one contenders. That's all.
But this bum been taking the easy matches, fighting other bums.
That's all. You had to fight all the number one contenders. And them dudes was good, bro. Them dudes was good, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Night in, night out, bro. You had to fight. Nowadays, the belt don't mean nothing. You know, being a champion don't mean nothing. So, you know, I have to accept it. I have evolved. I accept it. It is what it is. Well, I want to dedicate this show to the hood.
I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. I love y'all. I did this for the hood. Y'all know I beat that boy.
I dedicate this show to the hood, man. Shout out to the hood. It is what it is. It is what it is, man. Hey, shout out to Otis. Now you got a whole bunch of Otises.
Hurting the group. I'm the best thing ever happened to this damn group.
Nobody's bigger than the group.
Y'all ain't stupid. I'm the one selling the records. They coming to see me.
They coming to see the Temptations.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Hey, shout out to Instagram. What you say, fam? Edwin saying, who's fighting this weekend, champ? That's a good question. Who's fighting this weekend? Hold on, Edwin. I'm gonna find out for you right now. Bear with me one moment, fam. Let me pull who's fighting this weekend. Shoot. Let's go to the Ring magazine. Yeah, those days are over. Those days are over, though. So, you know, Ring magazine, who's fighting this weekend? Let me let everybody see the fights before I shut the show down. This who we fighting this weekend. This who fighting this weekend. Tomorrow you have Smith versus Jermaine. That's in the UK. This is the undercard. Kelly versus Gardico or Yardico or whatever. Warrington versus Khan. Padley, the same electrician that fought Shakur Stevenson. He fought now. I ain't gonna lie. This kind of shocked me. How did Padley get a fight this fast? Padley did not suffer any damage against Shakur, but he got to fight this fast. Normally they suspend you, you know. Fendora fight in America. Fendora fights this weekend. Gabrielle Fendora. I like her. I like Gabriella Fendora a lot. I like her a lot. You know, I think she's a better fighter than her brother, Sebastian Fendora. She put her punches together a lot better than her brother. And I like her brother. This ain't no shade on her brother now. But, bro, y'all need to watch her fight. This young lady can fight. She got some hands. We got my main man, Curtis Conwell. We got Conwell. I'm not Curtis, Charles Conwell. This another one of my favorite fighters at 154. This dude is strong. This dude is strong. Somebody got to get a dude a shot at the title. He got to get a shot at the title now. I'm telling you, this dude right here, this boy can crack. He's a good guy. He's from the Midwest. I think he's from Ohio. Cleveland or somewhere up in there. Cincinnati. He's from Ohio. I think this is Ohio. Matter of fact, let me see. Let me make sure. I could be wrong. I think he's from Ohio though. Yeah, this boy right here, boys. This nigga, this nigga hell, boy. Shit. When they talk about 154, they don't be mentioning his name. Let me see what Charles Conwell from. Yeah, he from Cleveland. He from Cleveland, Ohio. I just looked it up. He from Cleveland. He from Cleveland. Yeah, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, so we got some fights. Man. We'll probably go live tomorrow night. We might as well. You get what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. Before we go, we gotta say all praise due to the Most High, the Most Exalted, the greatest human being on the planet Earth. And I say that sarcastically as much as possible, Mr. Al Heyman.
Well, you know, I guess I gotta be like everybody else and saying Al Heyman. I can quit my job now, baby. 6 figures, baby. You feel me? I'm about to.
But a name. Do you have a name?
Oh, nah, I ain't got no name, you know.
Name them names, man.
They know who they is.
Name them names, please. The names need to be named.
They know who they is.
The Mexican monster.
You know, see, boxing is supposed to be about proving who you are the best. There's no such thing as man. Did you hear what you heard? What what's your name did to somebody in sparring? Just imagine what he would do to Pochop Willie, sir. We don't want to imagine what he'll do to Pochop Willie. We want to see him do what you say he gonna do to Pochop Willie. Different fan base. No, man, we already know who gonna win. No, sir, that's not how it works. We do not already know. We can feel that this guy's going to win, but if this guy is who you say he is, then he would do what they do in order to prove he's the best. See, in today's time, as the brothers from Baltimore would say, they don't have to do what they had to do back then. They ain't got to do that today. You get what I'm saying? Niggas they get crowned the best for wearing chrome hearts and having braids. Riley, get him.
Look, fuck you. Fuck the plane you flew in on. Fuck them shoes. Fuck the socks with the bell on it. Fuck them cheap ass cigars. Fuck your yuck mouth teeth. Fuck your hairpiece. Fuck your chocolate. Fuck Guy Ritchie. Fuck Prince William. Fuck the Queen. This is America. My president is black and my Lambo is blue, nigga. Now get the fuck out of my hotel room. And if I see you in the street, I'm slapping the shit out of you.
Yeah, man, it is what it is, man. Let's give a shout out to everyone who gave a super chat, and then I'm gonna give a shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Swat Jones. Shout out to Swat, man. Salute to you, fam. Hey, okay. Who else we got right here, man? Shout out to Swat Jones. Shout out to the Martin. Shout out to Fresh. Shout out to Retro Boston and Documentaries. Deal 1987 or Deal 87. Shout out to Polo Buck. Shout out to Mo Brains in the building. Shout out to Jason Gathers. Shout out to G Homie 615 for becoming a member. Salute to you, brother. I appreciate that. And shout out to Cut Creator. Let's give the super chatters a round of applause. Hey, okay. So now that you guys know how I view things from a boxing standpoint, shout out to Swat Jones, man, dropping that half a dub cash out. Hey, okay. So I don't want nobody saying, "Oh man, coach hating." I'm not hating. If you listen to what I'm saying is very logical. Those who say I'm hating, nah, you came up in this era to where you want to protect your fighter. You got your fight in the witness protection program. I didn't come up in the witness protection era. I came up in the era, man, you had to throw hands. Hell, even when I was young, I was the smallest dude in the neighborhood, but when I went to the park, I had to fight. And if I got my ass whooping cried, I can't go home crying. Yeah, man, I ain't going back to the park, mama. Man, daddy, I ain't going back to the park, daddy. Man, I got beat. I'm going to get my ass whooped. I'm like, nah, nigga, you finna go back up there. Well, they ain't say nigga, but you finna go back up there and fight. You had to earn your keep. You don't beat one guy, beat two guys, and automatically you the best. It doesn't work that way. You have to be a plethora of guys that's in your division that's supposed to be the top guys. If you can get by them or beat most of them, even if you lose one, come back and rematch them and win it or whatever the case may be. But if you beat 8 out of 10 or 7 out of 9 or 6 out of 8 or whatever the case may be, you had to earn that keep, fam. In today's time, the stuff I'm talking about, oh man, you hating on my favorite fighter. What?
Now, I am the #1 contender. I'm tired of James the Poodle, Grim Reaper, whatever you want to call himself, ducking me. All right, I'm tired of man driving around town in 8 Rolls Royces. He ain't fought nobody. I'm still in a broham.
It is what it is, man. Shout out to the Snow Bunny.
See your eyes shine, she's my Snow Bunny, please. And with the lights too, she's my sweet dust of cream. Talk to my nose, this love
Dr. Umar. I know Dr. Umar. 30 hot boy. Dr. Umar boy. Man, that dude dog on Lennon Honor. Man, dog, my God, he on Dr. Umar bumper. Man, y'all think I'm bad. This dude right here, I don't want no smoke with that dude. I don't want no smoke with you, dog. You just going a little too far. Man, you ain't stall Dr. Umar out. Man, look here, man. Shout out to Fresh. Now, Manny Fresh. Hey, okay. Shout out to my sister Foodie. Hey, okay. Shout out to who else we got in the building? Shout out to Miss Black Panther. Hey, okay. Shout out to John. Hey, okay. JC in the building. Hey, okay. Shout out to Bishop Bullwinkle. Hey, okay. Matter of fact, let's give everybody a shout out on the other channel and on Instagram as well. Shout out to Sonny Augustine. Salute to you, fam. Shout out to King KO. Salute. Let's see. Oh, that the King KO. Are you the? Yeah. Oh no, I ain't gonna say now. I'm gonna say how you act. Shout out to Tyrese. What's going on, fam? Shout out to Brother Styles, Ricky E245. Salute, Big Boss, Boss Man Tony in the building, Cool Breeze in the building. Shout out to Sactus. Salute to you, fam. Sanctus. Salute to you. Shout out to SP Got Beat, Mika Love 'em. Summer in November, Rude Exposure. That's on the other channel. Let's go over here to Instagram before we sign off. Shout out to who we got on Instagram. Shout out to Terry. Shout out to YF. Shout out to Cold. Shout out to Speed. Shout out to Boss Man in the building. Lord have mercy. Shout out to Fat Tab. Shout out to Fat Tabby. Shout out to the Boxing Conversation. Shout out to Gold House. I think that's Tone. Shout out to Tone, man. Salute to you, fam. Let's go over here. Not Two Tone the Superstar, but another Tone from Atlanta. And let's give a shout out over here. Shout out to Wole. Hey, okay. Shout out to Major Key Boxing. Major Key, what's going on, fam? Hey, okay. Salute to you, fam. Shout out to everybody. I will give everybody else a shout out after these messages. Shout out to the lovely Patrice Russian, Tenderoni Fridays. Shout out to Freddie Washington. And shout out to the Tenderonis, the PYTs, and the Honeydews. Yeah, man, let's give everybody a shout out, man. Shout out to doggone Nate Great. Hey, okay. Shout out to Jamie from New York. Hey, okay. The lovely Tila, North Omaha stand up. Hey, okay. Moeezy, Broward County. Hey, okay. The lovely Miss Black Panther, Queens, New York. Hey, okay. DC Kerr is in the building. Hey, okay. Major Key Boston is in the building. Hey, okay. Keys Bulldog, Cincinnati, stand up. Hey, okay. Wole, what's going on, fam? Shout out to John. Shout out to Jamie. Shout out to Kenneth Johnson. Shout out to the Natural. Shout out to Polo Buck. Polo, what's going on, baby boy? Bishop Bullwinkle is in the building. JC, John, Mr. John Martinez. Shout out to Foodie, man. Foodie, stay on their bumper. What you said? What you said? Foodie say. What you said? She block called Martinez show. Boy, I got them she block, boy. She block me stalking that nigga. All in the videos. Hey, shout out to doggone the boxing dog. She block, boy. She block trying to go to everybody who down with me. Try to get him on his stuff. Try to get him on this stuff on X. Want to call everybody. Want to rock with Nez. Call him Martinez. Lake Hill, baby boy. Lake Hill, man. You flawed in a $3 food stamp. Hey, okay. Anyway, man. Shout out to Tila. Shout out to Nate Great. Shout out to Dr. Paul Evans. JC in the building. Round 1. The lovely Miss Black Panther. Let's see who else we got. Shout out to Willie Sumlin. Willie, what's going on, baby boy? JC in the building. Deal 87, man. 87. Shout out to Raymond Moore. Shout out to Corey Bradley. Who else we have in the building, man? EMS in the building. We got EMS. G5 from the Bronx. We got the Bronx here. The Boogie Down. The Boogie Down. We got the Boogie Down Bronx here. Shout out to Fresh, man. Manny Fresh is in the building. It is what it is. Boy, listen, man, the fake boy, the cream always rises to the top. You know, and this is the era where dudes confess to wearing Canelo glow-in-the-dark draws with his face on it, and this is the era where dudes where they get tattoos of their favorite fighter tattooed on their hand.
I love you, you love me. We're a happy family with a great big hug and a kiss from me to you. Won't you say you love me too?
D-Block, what happened with you and Coach Malachi, bro?
Bruh. Oh, you already know. See, Two-Tone. When somebody talks shit about you, when they get so high.
D-Block, the other day on his live,
bruh,
he had showed a tattoo of you got Tank Davis tattooed on you for real?
Bruh. Two-Tone. That shit ain't nowhere around me no more. But we talk about another day, my brother.
Wait.
Man.
What do you mean it ain't?
Go ahead, Ness.
What you mean it ain't nowhere around you no more? You had one?
Bruh.
Yeah, he had a Tank Davis tattoo.
Ness, I lost the bet. In front of everybody. I had to be a man.
Wait. Who bet
that was
you
me,
that?
Ness.
What?
That was me.
Bruh.
Yeah, that was me, Ness.
No.
But
Give me the details. Give me the details. But you bet. Who would Tank lose to? What made you do it? What was the bet?
Ryan Garcia, Ness.
Wow.
But guess what, Ness? You know why I love you?
Bruh.
You know I respect you, Ness? Because I ain't a person like Coach Malachi that calls me out and calls me a taco in a burrito, a racist cunt that he is, and I go at him. But guess what, Ness? He'll cut me off before I go with him on the live. Because he's a bitch.
Bruh.
And that's what I'm going to say like that.
Man, Coach Malachi, a good brother. That's a good brother right there, man.
Motherfucker.
He put you on, bro.
You know what he does to him?
Bruh.
He changed himself. He changed his hair.
That's wild.
Changed his beard.
Bruh.
Trying to be a fucking young ass motherfucker. He ain't about shit, brother. But he can't fuck with me when it goes to a live.
Hey, man, I catch you guys in the next one. We going live tomorrow night for the fights, man. You know my motto. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Peace.
Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go. Man, I'm out of here, bro. Let's go.